Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Monoxide Podcast. I'm your host, Harris, a.k.a. Monoxide, man of many automotive aspirations, and I am here with my co-host, Dan, Mr. Gunnick Garage.
Yep. How's it going?
It's going good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
We'll see if we keep the intro, man. We might be
Yeah,
switching it
it's
up.
all right.
But this might be the last episode we do the intro like this, so we might just enjoy it. But
Just make sure you send any pre-recorded stuff to me for approval.
yeah, sure. Okay, boss.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so this is the show where we go beyond the meat. We like to meet people within our local community or anybody that's involved in the car scene, whether it is local or national, whatever. So 79 episodes deep. It's about time that we got some fab guys on. I've been saying this for, 40 episodes before you were even co-host,
Yeah.
I think. Just because we love having people of different aspects of the car. There's so much stuff on a car, dude.
Right.
And you guys touch a lot of it.
Yep.
So I guess kind of give an introduction to each of you. So we have Jose and Matt, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Because I've talked to you a handful of times. I'm just
Right,
garbage at
right.
names. But so we got both you guys. You guys worked together at MAP before, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Sweet. So just kind of give us a bit of an introduction about what each are you doing. So we'll start with you.
Well, my name is Jose Asensio. I currently just kind of hop on doing whatever kind of fabrication, kind of entrepreneur. I have my own little thing going on. I call it Elegant Garage. It's just a little shop that I have that I'm putting together to just do any fabrication for anyone who does who needs charge piping, down pipes, even turbo kits. You need anything, honestly. I'm not afraid to do it. Just trying to help the average person, local human being that wants fab work done, that doesn't want to bring it to a shop that's $200+ an hour, so I work
It's
good
crazy.
projects on good average amount of cost of what to build for someone and pretty much take them in. And then, yeah, that's pretty much what I do now. And then I work with JWP here and there to do a couple of things here and there.
Is that kind of one of the main guys that you're kind of working with right now?
Right now, yeah, just helping them because I know they're having other fabricators there, and then they've just kind of wanted somebody else to fill in the void. So I hopped in and hopefully stay
Makes
in that
sense.
spot. So
Sweet. And then you're over at DRSC. How's that work?
So I'm the one and only fab guy, really. Dave was doing all the fab work for a while, last year. I think they've only been open for a year and 3-4 months or something like that. So Dave's, the big boss. He's the top dog there.
Right.
I want to call him that.
We call him other things, but we don't have to say that on air.
Yeah, he was giving me shit for calling him David in a text message the other day. I was like,
he
whatever.
doesn't scream David to me when I see Dave.
it's
I'm
weird.
pretty sure if I
It's
called him
actually-
David, he'd punch me.
Yeah, that's actually my middle name, and that's actually my dad's name as well. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm the one fab guy there. Dave was doing it all originally, but he has to run the business and stuff. He's too busy to do it. So, when I got the news that MAP was closing down, I was doing side work over there on a Saturday here and there and stuff like that. And I kind of got lucky; it just turned into a full-time gig.
Over at DRSC, you mean?
DRSC,
Yeah.
Yep.
So for those listening, Dave has been on this podcast 2 or 3 times now. I know episode 64, and I think he was on episode 9. He's one of the OGs on here. So we just did some really cool stuff with him and Tuned by Sean. That was a fun project. Did you do some fab work for that Camaro or no?
No.
Okay.
I know the muffler, I think, got hit on the dyno when it was...
Yeah. It's a later
so
problem.
my problem now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fix that, but PMF did a lot of the fab work on it.
Okay.
It's a custom chassis. I'm not sure what company did it.
Schwartz.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
But that's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
That thing is sweet.
Dude,
So.
the more I kept looking at it, the more awesome it got.
Yeah.
And then we were at JWP on doing the dyno work. What was that? A Saturday, I
was
think,
Saturday,
3 days ago, whatever. And dude, that thing just destroyed my microphone. It was just it's a really cool car. And apparently that dude's got a cool collection too. So after talking with Dave, so
Yep.
But,
he pulled up to the shop the other day in some Porsche, not sure the model or the year or whatever, and then he has some Jeep with a Hellcat swap getting built in Chicago, I think. So
yeah, I need to reach out to those guys when we go to. So there's a number of people in Chicago I want to have on. We're gonna have a guy that does Nitro Cross and Rally Cross, whatever. That's gonna be freaking sick.
yeah.
that'd be sick.
It's gonna be the first person younger than me on the podcast, which is kind of wild. But apparently, he does it professionally. But that's a different set of cojones those guys need. But that's a really really cool car. So yeah, I kind of was over your shoulder while you were doing some fab work.
Yep.
I think for one video. But so I guess after you guys kind of left MAP, so you kind of went on your own. You found another shop. But when you guys were back at MAP, what did that kind of look like? Did you guys do a lot of cool projects back then, or?
I wouldn't say we did anything on anybody's like cars through the shop. Like business wise, we didn't really get to do much because I know Map turned their way of doing any customer work after like a year before we started working there, maybe 2.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably 2 or 3 customer cars in the shop right when we started that were getting finished up. And
that was kind of like the end of that because their money exchange was kind of a problem. But the only thing we really built there was kind of our own cars. That's the one thing that we loved about Map is they gave us the opportunity to work on our own stuff, and it taught us a lot of kind of things that we would never learn on the field, and it kind of taught us, I guess, to become who we are, a little bit different than the average production fabricator. So
Yep. How many fab guys were over there?
at the beginning, it was us 5. I think this is 8 years ago. It was 5 of us 8 years ago, and then when unfortunately everything turned downhill, it was 2 shifts. We had about 18 to 20 people, I think.
Oh.
And then we had a whole second shift. We had 10 people for first shift, and we had 8 people for second shift, I think. And then
something like that. Yeah, it's right when COVID happened. You know, everybody got extremely busy.
Yeah.
And we got extremely busy. So yeah, a whole other second shift, and it was weird. You know, everything was roped off and stuff. It was a weird time.
Yeah.
yeah, they had us
So-
only being able to use the restroom at one part of the building, and then other stuff like that. You know, the whole.
Were you guys building like the kits that went out to get sold then? Is that what it was? So it was like a production line
Yep.
type situation? Okay.
So we originally went from, I think, like regular orders where it'd be like a couple people would order some downpipes, and then they would do small orders of like a batch of 5. That's how we used to do things, maybe a batch of 10. Eventually, to the last couple of years, they started trying to do more of a production line where we could get 2 or 3 people to work on the same thing and then do a batch of 40 and see how fast we could get them done. And we were killing it, but unfortunately, the economy wasn't doing as good as we were.
Right.
So
Right.
Well, it's like luxury things kind of, go away. Like people start doing less and less mods. Like that's why I haven't gone E85 on my car. It's like not in this economy. You know how much chicken costs, dude? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I love 85. It's like obviously the best for your engine, but no, when I was daily driving my 240, it was like every 2 days was like $50 in gas or $45 in gas.
Yeah.
Because it gets like 10 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, people think, oh, it's cheaper.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cheaper when you're paying for it, not when it's consuming it. No.
Yeah. Well, it's like for me, like I'm really close to a really good Minico, so like always top tier content. But it's like they had to go out of the way. But then again, I'd go to the Shell up the street to get 93. So
Yeah, we got lucky. We had a Hy-Vee right up the street from us.
Yeah.
What do you guys got
on
there?
A holiday.
Yeah, and a holiday that was really good.
93.
No,
Or 85.
85, yeah.
We
Yeah.
had a BP, and then it shut down and became a holiday. Of like, of course, we were doing E30 blends and stuff there, and then BP went away, and I'm like, fuck, because we lost those, and it was just like finding a BP now is what a dime. Like it used to be a dime a dozen, now it's like one every few miles.
Yeah, there's
like,
one a mile and a half
hundreds
from
of
my
miles.
house that has 93. So
Is
I'm,
it?
I'm
Oh,
really
lucky.
Like there's a Quick Trip next door, and I do work for them, so I'm like, I love Quick Trip, and then when I drive by to go to get 93, though, I just gotta put my hand up like this and just drive past Quick Trip.
Yeah, no, I always stop at that BP by because like he's over in Hudson, so it's like an hour drive, so I have to fill up by the time I get to over there because
Yeah.
just ridiculous. But
I guess I kind of need them to stay in business, though, so I can get 93.
yeah, that's
So
probably a good.
Maybe I shouldn't steer people away from there.
Hey, go there.
yeah.
It's okay. I give him enough.
All right,
In
sounds
my
good.
11-gallon tank.
Yeah.
So yeah, so how does somebody even get into doing like fab? Like, what made you guys kind of realize like that was like because there's a lot of different aspects of working on a car that you can kind of get into. What made you go the route of fab work? Because I'm guessing you guys have done other types of work on cars too, right?
Right. So when I turned 18, I started working at a Goodyear. I just did oil changes, suspension alignments, and some basic stuff like that. And then one day my boss came up to me. He's like, "You're not gonna work here for the rest of your life, are you?" Like he's kind of being a dick, I guess, but kind of like pushing me to like be better. Not that my parents didn't do that. I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll try out welding and stuff. And then I went to school at DCTC for the welding technology program. My cousin Jake got a job at MAP when they were in the Plymouth location. I was like, dude, that's so cool. Like, I thought it was the coolest thing ever working at a performance shop. This
Right.
was 10 years ago. And so I went to DCTC, got my certificate and everything like that, and then I applied at MAP. And I was like, well, I know a bunch of people there already, and I'll fit right in. And then I started actually a week after Jose did. So
Okay.
we were basically there at the same time.
Yeah, really.
Just pull yours a little bit closer there, by the way. Just because, yeah, you're good. Yeah. God, these microphones, gotta love them. But no, yeah, like, that's the one thing I realized is, like, fab guys, like, you guys don't have to disclose it, but I've always heard you guys kind of make, like, a little bit of bank. Like, it's, like, a decent field. Like, I don't know. Am I off on that?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
It
True.
depends. Like,
Yeah.
Top dog,
Like
welders.
Patience?
Well, I'm saying just welders in
Oh.
general. That's, on the oil rigs, pipe
Yeah.
fitter stuff. They're making $60, $70 an hour after their 5-year apprentice or whatever. So,
Those videos are crazy too.
yeah.
But it's
they do
dangerous.
some cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. It
Dangerous,
pays,
yeah.
but it's
Not
like,
in an air conditioned building, standing
know,
on a a
outs-
nice mat.
Yep.
the easiest way to say it is you could lose your life. And
Yeah.
like if one of those pipes snaps and hits you, like you're not getting hit
Yep.
by a 5-pound pipe. You're getting hit by 100+ pounds of force, and it usually I haven't seen things, but I've heard enough.
It'll take
things.
you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've wanted to do that, but at the same time, it's like if it's no offense, if it's that easy to go out, I'm not going out that easily. I'm not trying to say if you want to do that by yourself and you make that money, yeah, there's money out there.
Right.
But that's a different type of field.
Yeah,
But-
you'll be either out, in the middle of the summer on a hot day or in the middle of winter in a puddle of ice and mud and water and stuff like that, but you're getting paid for it.
Dude, I remember after seeing there's this video of this guy working on some sort of oil rig or somewhere in South Dakota, Texas, whatever, and he's completely just brown, with just liquids and just
Yep.
whatever. And I was sitting in the air conditioned office. I'm like, you know what? It could be worse.
Right.
I've seen videos of pipe with I don't know what kind of gases are out of it, but they're welding and it's literally flames are coming out of the pipe and they're closing it shut because
Yeah,
that's
it's like a natural gas.
natural gas, and you can't stop it because the pipeline is running through the whole city. So literally
Right.
they're just welding over it, and literally in the corner of the well that's still open is flame coming out because they're filling it. That's the type of day. Yeah, you're probably getting paid $100, $200 an hour, but if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
Well, especially
That's where-
natural gas. That's
yeah, yep. Like I said, there's some things I've seen other I had almost got into underwater welding. That's
Yeah, I've
probably
seen
the
that
highest
too.
paying, but that's the
That's
worst. for your
crazy. I don't even know how that works. That's just nuts.
full
to me.
body suit, literally. It's
Yeah.
it's like you literally go and scuba dive with Steve, literally, it's what you're doing. And then it's just yeah. But the thing is, it's bad for your body. Anything under 30, 40 feet, your body starts feeling the weight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going I guess the moon is losing gravity, but
Right.
there it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier, where eventually it could take a toll on your body. And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people tell me that are, I don't know, in their 50s, 60s have done it. Their bones click clack and cardiac everywhere. It's just
Plus, you guys are car guys too, right? So being in
Right.
the fab part of it, that's just kind of it's two birds with one stone, right? It's something that you like and a job at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And I know people say don't, or if you have a hobby, don't turn it into your job, but
I hate that phrase so
Yeah.
much.
well, that's what I did, and I still love it. I still love working on my own car, doing turbo kits and stuff on that, or doing side jobs, after work. I still have enough brain power, I guess. After a long day, I could still, cut some pipe and weld it together for somebody. And so, yeah, it doesn't really get boring at all, honestly. Especially after you see a finished product from just random pieces of pipe and you build something cool with it. And you're like, yeah, that turned out great. And then, customer likes it, and that makes you feel even better.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Is there something is there something that you've done that you're just you killed it? Does anything come to mind, your best project you've ever done? I know
They're
it's
all
a hard
great, right?
question, bud.
yeah, it's,
Put you on the spot,
yeah,
bud.
I've done a couple cool things. I don't know. Do you guys know who Ian Donegan is?
Maybe.
He has 91 single cab short bed truck. It's a Silverado with the LS in it.
work truck.
And then
the work truck is what they
Yeah,
call
that's
it.
what he calls it, the work truck. And I did the turbo kit on that, and it turned out pretty sweet. He goes up to a Cash, Brainerd. It's a drag truck, so
Okay.
so.
I'm sure I might have seen it. Is he on social media, I'm guessing? Probably.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. This is one of those going to be one of those awkward moments. I'm going to go up. Oh, yeah, 500,000 followers or something crazy.
Well, I can
like that.
guarantee you, and Chevy trucks and Silverados don't come across my feed, so I probably haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Goddamn Ford guys.
yeah. Fix your algorithm, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you? Are you a Chevy guy then? Or where do you stand? Do you have a preference?
So I had a DSM for a long time.
Oh, okay.
That's what probably most people know me as, a DSM guy, or whatever you want to call it. And then my cousin Jake had a GTO, it had a LS2 in it, T56, made 700 wheel on some turbo, and that thing was together for 5 or 6 years.
And just took it.
And yeah, he beat the snot out of it and brought it down to Texas, and he was racing everybody around here and stuff like that, and it just wouldn't break. I was like, this DSM kind of sucks.
This is before 1,000 horsepower was the average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
700, 750.
Yeah, and I
that
was
was
like-
fast. And
Yeah.
it's like,
I was like, well, I want to drive something. I don't really want to worry about it breaking. So, yeah, I got a 1980 Fairmont. It's a 4-door. It's kind of like a grandma car, I guess you could say.
Oh,
or
you're
grandpa
talking
car,
my realm
whatever.
now. I know what a Fairmont is.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So it's basically Fox body.
Yep.
Has Fox body and SN95 suspension, brakes, K-member, just rear end, stuff like that. So it's a 6-liter out of 2012 Silver Auto 2500 HD.
Now you lost me. But yeah, go ahead. No, I'm
So,
just kidding.
LS.
yeah.
Has a VS Racing S475 on it. It had a Turbo 400 in it. I actually just ripped that out this past weekend, and I got a brand new T56 Magnum that's going in it. So
Nice.
yeah, it's been a very long time since I drove a car, and I actually enjoyed it. The last time that was when my DSM made like 400 horsepower. It was so much fun. It was reliable, and then I got bit by the bug, and I started turning it up, started breaking stuff, and then the car wasn't fun after I got done with it.
They're
sucked
fast
driving.
though.
They
Like
got-
I don't know. Do you know Alex Talon by any chance? Like he has a Talon or whatever. It was making like 500 wheel.
Yep.
Took me for a ride. And, yeah, like his plate is Achu. It's a fantastic plate. But no, that
sneeze.
yeah. And then you got Evo, and his plate was Achu too. But perfect. But no, that car was like ridiculously quick. I think because it weighs like 2,900 pounds.
Yeah, they're pretty light for an all-wheel drive car. So
Dude, you know what I found out like recently? I went down this rabbit hole of watching like old Formula One stuff. Apparently, like during the turbo era in like the 70s or the 80s, whenever it was, they were like in these 500-600 kilogram cars, which I think that in bald eagles, I think that's 1,000 pounds. But either way, it's like
math adds up. Yeah.
maybe a little bit more, but either like 1,500 pounds, 1,200 pounds, whatever. And they're making 1,500 wheel horse, or not wheel. Well, we're probably rounding error back then, but like over 1,000 horse in a car that weighs nothing. And then, things tapered off after a while, but it's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is
People had
insane.
a lot less brain cells probably back in the day.
Well, it's like,
I don't know. I think I could beg to go the other way with that, I think.
maybe. I guess in this generation, I
Yeah.
wouldn't doubt it.
that's when men were men, man.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
strap me to this fucking chair with a
Right.
jet engine on it.
We'll figure it out.
Dude, they used to use rocket fuel. Like, legit, like, damn near rocket fuel in Formula One. And they were like, oh, yeah, this causes cancer. It's probably not.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I heard you guys talking about ventilation down there earlier. It's like they probably didn't even use that shit back then.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to ventilation stuff because of like the old dyno at MAP. Like you
Yeah.
had to use that, otherwise you pass out walking in there. Literally, like
Because it's like a box.
Yeah, it was literally a box, and if you didn't turn those fans on, you got out of the car, you probably pass out like 20 seconds of just breathing in
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff. It was bad.
I'm surprised they didn't do. So their stuff was basically hand built. Did they have stuff that they sent like CAD drawings out and had like China put it together or anything like that? They didn't send anything out for like big production.
We eventually started doing. So we were building. Me and Matt became like the main manifold fabricators. So we built we built all the collectors and everything. But eventually, that stuff just took way too long. Like the collectors would take us 2 to 3 hours a piece to do it the way we wanted it, smooth flow, so it wouldn't crack everything. Eventually, they ended up just 3D printing or scanning one of the ones that I did, and I can't remember which one of us finished it, but they 3D scanned it, sent it to China, and had like a casted version of it made. It took forever, like 2 years, so we were still making them forever, and then eventually they showed up, and then from there we tried polishing them and doing other things. But yeah, they eventually started making like casted elbows for certain things. I think we did WRX downpipes, like the flanges, a couple other things like that, and there's a few things that I guess we went towards the China route, but the quality definitely dropped on. Like the flanges we were getting that were offset, things weren't perfect to when we were getting them done in-house, but that also shot us in the foot for having things not done as fast when all the fab stuff got CNC'd in-house, and then other miscellaneous things got CNC'd in-house. It would slow down production for other things, so we just ended up going to outsourcing it because it was a lot faster turnaround, cheaper, etc. But it kind of also caused problems, so it was like
there's a cost to it.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 thing.
For like the flanges, like the downpipes and manifolds and stuff. Besides the collectors, we made them all. There was we had 3 different tube benders there. We had 2 CNC ones and then 1 smaller one. And everything would get bent up. We would get everything in like a literal shopping cart, and then you'd have a jig set on your table, clean the pipe out, cut it, tack it, and weld it together, and then do that 15, 20 times in a row, depending on what you were building. So it's kind of mindless work. I'm much happier where I am right now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Just-
like, what are you kind of working on now? Like, I'm guessing you get a little more free reign with Dave. Before we get too far into the show, I wanted to take a moment to talk about Raise a Hood. If your daily driver is having issues, aka your beater you got off Craigslist, Raise a Hood's telemechanics and AI tools can help you diagnose and solve the issues you may be dealing with for a fraction of the cost. All you have to do is add your car to the Raise a Hood garage to get started. You can provide the AI tool, also known as Gus, with the specifics of the issues you're having, and it'll help you narrow down what the culprit is. It's a great way to bounce ideas off of to figure out what actually might be the problem. You could then select from a variety of solutions to explore the cost and difficulty of doing the repair yourself versus taking it to a shop. If your car doesn't have detailed solutions yet, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and add your car to the garage for free, and that'll let the Raise a Hood team know what to focus on as they continue to develop and grow. If you want to try out Gus or chat with a telemechanic, go to raiseahood.com and add your car to the garage to get started. Use code MONOXIDE-FREE for a 1-month free subscription, or Monoxide20 to save 20% on a 30-minute call with a telemechanic. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah. So obviously, Matt basically turned me into the fabricator I am now.
Right, that helps you hone your skills doing that stuff too,
Exactly.
right? Like, I'm
Yep.
going to weld 400 of these today. I'm going to get damn good at it, you know?
Repetitiveness.
Yeah,
Like, people
absolutely.
ask us, I know on daily on our welds, like, how do you get, like, dude, it's like, I compare welding, like, to drifting or driving. Like, the more seat time you have, the better you're going to be at
Yeah.
it. No matter what videos you've
100%.
watched, whatever tips and tricks, welds, whatever you met, that's not going to help you. Believe me, it may help you pick up the welder, but continuously doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, you'll find the rhythm. Like, that's what you want to do, is just
So then it gets you to this level now where you can go do that stuff, the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And Map, I basically honed in my skills. Max Odegaard, I actually want to give a shout out to him.
Yep.
He was
That sounds familiar.
he was my mentor. You know, he taught me a lot of stuff, and I probably wouldn't be as good as I am today if it wasn't for him. He's actually at Patience now,
Okay.
Patience Metal Fab, so he is striving.
Didn't he
He
fab
is-
like his own like sim rig too? Or am I
Yeah,
thinking of someone
so-
else? Yeah.
Well, also his truck.
Yeah, his truck. So his truck is a Isuzu hardbody that he literally cut like the box, like the where you sit in it, the cab, literally off of it, and then he made a square frame on the floor, put it on there, and slowly started building like a tube chassis off of it, and then did S13 rear subframe, S13 front like subframe, lower subframe, for the engine, and then everything else is all roll bars and he did it all, 6 years, 5, 6, it took a while, but he did it all by hand, everything TIG welded, not a single MIG weld on that truck either.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like he hates MIG welds at all, and like everything, he wide bodied it, it's 1J swapped, rear radiator mounted, like you gotta have Max on here, if you want to have that dude's fabrication, like me and Matt are really good fabricators, not trying to be cocky or anything, but that dude blows us out of like the water.
Yeah,
And he's one of our best friends either.
Yeah,
honestly.
he also built that full truck on a bender, and the tube would start to coil up a little bit, so he had to figure out a way to make everything work together when the tubes weren't perfectly flat. If you bent a 90, laid on the floor, it would have like a little wobble to it. So somehow that truck just turned out great with not too great of a bender. So yeah, and at Dave's, I'm basically when I first started, I did a couple E36s. They came with turbo manifolds already. Turbo was already mounted, so I did downpipe, intercooler, just custom stuff I wasn't really able to do at MAP. So shout out to Dave for hiring me and giving me a chance.
How long have you
So,
been there now, by the way?
I started on February 5th.
Okay.
So
Like 2 months now?
yeah.
And already
something like
starting
that.
some fun projects. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's been great. I love it so far. Everybody there is super cool, and not everybody at MAP was cool as well. But
Right.
but
It's
yeah,
kind of like that next step within your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So speaking of BMWs, don't you have one?
Yeah, I have an M3
Yeah.
E36.
E36?
Yeah.
Okay, because the other day I saw a black one go past me on 169. I was like, it was black with like red guts. I was like, that looks really good.
That is. Have you been in Gus's car?
I haven't, no.
that thing
that-
is insane.
'Cause that's 2Js swapped, right? Or no? What's in
stock.
there?
He'd
Stock
kill you if
motor.
you said that. he's a big BMW guy. Like I always say Jay-Z on a BMW, and he always gets like a little irritation. We're good friends and everything. But I think his is a built M50, and because I was talking to him about it today, and I think it made over 11 at
Yeah.
JVP.
And that was with his slipping.
Yeah, and he says now his clutches are slipping and other stuff. But yeah, it was making.
Oh no, not slipping, spinning. Sorry.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's got the DCT trans. What is it? I forget what it's called. But yeah, that thing. He was on a ride for it. That thing's a fucking great train.
Yeah, right before Texas, I believe, like a couple nights before they left for Texas, him and Sean were tuning it, and I was in the back seat, and we did a hit on the road, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I don't like going this fast. Like, holy shit! Like that thing,
like a
it's
170.
very, very fast. That's yeah.
170 somewhere around there, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he was beating up. There's one video he got in Texas, just absolutely destroying someone. I think.
I mean, he raced ratified.
Yeah.
But say, did he run it at the track too?
No.
Okay.
No, he's just a street guy, I think, right?
Yeah.
He ran one of the silver RS3s here, the gray RS3s, and he
Yeah.
he didn't say walked it, but he
It was significant.
a little bit,
Yeah, the
but
video.
That thing is
makes it
ridiculous.
look like he
I'll give
walked
him,
it, but-
I'll give him respect for that car. That car is fast as fuck for sure.
That's pretty good because I know that RS3 is fast as fuck too.
Yeah, no, that's why when we were like when I was watching, I was like, all right, I think it's gonna do some damage. And then when I saw it like race the RS3, I was like, all right, so like we got definitely something to worry about here.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the RS3 makes what 1,000 plus or something.
probably.
Give
I
or
think
take,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the one that just went up for sale? It's a ratified build.
I know.
So-
Don't worry. I'm doing this camper thing right. I'm like, itching.
I was
I'm
about to send it to you, too.
I'm like, maybe I need to call my bank and switch the bins.
Because we're looking to go up to Power Cruise to do some podcasts up there. So
Oh,
Dan's
okay.
doing a little shopping. We'll write it off.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
Bring like a mobile casting couch.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I want to get an RV because I've been going to the track more and doing stuff, and I'm getting tired of like I either got a trailer up or I got to drive my car. Then you got to find a
Somebody else
friggin'
brings
hotel
something
or
else, yeah.
something, and then you go get a hotel, but all the fun shit's going on at the track because when the lights go up, people think it racing all day, but when it gets dark, and then the whole party
That's the
starts.
real fun.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
That's the one thing I miss about Proving Grounds. That
Yeah.
we won't be at anymore, but it is what it is. you know.
Carmageddon now or
Carmageddon,
something?
It's
yeah.
getting rebranded again, I think.
Really?
That's what I heard. I can't remember who told me, but somebody told me though.
Yeah,
Probably.
It's like because like we were able to go there all the time, enjoy with friends, have little fun parties,
Yep.
catch up with people that you hadn't seen since last year or whatever, and then
Yep.
yeah, good time.
I mean, I have kids too, so I will do some real camping with it, but don't tell the family that the real reason is just so I can go to the track.
I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, all right, sounds good.
So, oh damn, I'm on the spot now.
Yeah, no,
I was
yeah,
listening
let's
to your
go.
RV story. I didn't even have anything to think about. But so okay, so you got the BMW, and then you had the what was it? S14, right?
Yeah,
Or
so
no?
I own 4 cars. I have my 97 M3, which I'm JZ swapping. Still haven't finished that, but working on it. I have a 90 240 hatch that I'm also JZ swapping, and then I have a 98 Toyota Chaser, the TRD that came from Canada. Like just got it last summer, but I bought it in 2020 before the prices skyrocketed.
Nice.
And I also have my 97 240. It's 1.5 JZ swapped. I've done all the fabrication work on that and won a couple awards, and have had it pretty much for the last 8-9 years of my life. So.
You want to put a 2JZ in a Bronco 2 in
Yeah,
1990?
let's do it.
99?
That's kind of my thing. Like JZ's
Is it
is like,
really? Because
yeah.
I've been thinking because I was gonna put just like a Mustang 302 in it, and I'm looking at it. I was like, man, I think it because it's kind of tight. I'm like, I think something smaller but fast as fuck would be really cool.
My buddy just finished the 2JZ Colorado.
Did he really?
Yeah, and-
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so
That
it's
sounds
like
pretty
and it
sweet.
fits, looks nice. The turbo fits, fat 400 series turbo fits on it and everything. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It's so different, dude.
Dude, it's like I said, it's the bang for buck engine if you can get the right engine. There's the way
Yeah.
I tell you. He even was telling me a couple years ago. He's like, if I could find something, I'd JZ swap it. I was like,
Oh,
do it.
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, I don't have anything against any motors. I like JZs are just my thing because I've just grew up around them. Like, it's putting myself into it. But like, so people think that I'm against LSs. I like LSs. I just like to stick to JZs.
It's still a good like. To be fair though, like get 1,000 horsepower out of an LS. That takes a little bit. It's not too difficult on a JZ, right?
Well, depending on what you have, I wouldn't push a stock one over 7.8 without
7.8,
expecting
okay.
the how to say the mains to crack. Because a buddy of mine was doing that and he cracked 5 out of his 7 mains.
Oh shit.
So like it gets scary. After that, you start doing billet mains and other miscellaneous things. But I mean, if you build a block, put the right cams, right turbo on it, right fuel, everything, yeah, you'll make power easily. There's people nowadays, if you do the 3.4 liter, 1,000 horsepower is a joke to that motor.
Really?
Yeah, there's some of the Granis Racing's making 3,000 out of their engine.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty.
I mean, everyone's got their like holy grail, right? I mean, the Coyote is freaking the endless opportunities, the LS stuff, the
Yep.
JZ. I mean, there's you just pick your flavor.
Yeah, no, that's all it is. It's
Yeah.
all what you want to, I guess, find as your niche. Is what
Yep.
we call it. It's like that's why I just found JZ's, because I know that I can find everything at a certain part store. Like I said, everyone thinks that I hate RVs. I don't hate RVs either. I know when I need an oil pump, I can go to Toyota and get it. If I need a coil pack, I can go to wherever and get it. Where RVs, you can't find anything local unless somebody else that has RV stuff has it. But even then, if you're at a track breakdown, I can just go to a parts store and get stuff. Because nowadays I've transferred things to like LS coil packs and other miscellaneous things for the motor. So like I don't have to just get JZ specific things. You can do aftermarket harnesses and stuff that adapt to certain coil packs, GTR coil packs, YZZ coil packs from Yaris's and other miscellaneous things like that.
So I've always wondered that on a guy who gets like something totally custom, like what you're saying here, right? Do you basically have to give them a list afterwards and be like, listen, if you need brakes, you have to give them for like a 98 Malibu. If you need
AutoZone
yeah,
is the funniest trip every time.
I bet it is.
Because they're like, what do you have? I'm like, 97 240. Okay, what do you, I need brakes. What are those? Oh, well, it's a 9300 ZX. Okay, what about the transmission? 90 Mark III Supra. And then what about motor? It's a 98 Toyota Supra. And they're like, like I'm sorry. Like, and same with him. They got a Fairmont, and he's like, well, I need LS this. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, what year is that? And they're like, all right, just move. I push them out of the way to the computer and just start typing.
Yeah, they do. They're very set too. Like, what is it?
They're just scared. Like.
And sometimes they want to know the trim level, like that's even gonna fucking matter in the grand scheme of
Is it all-wheel drive?
Yeah.
Like, 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive there?
Like, bro, I just need this, the rear view mirror. It shouldn't matter if it's 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive.
I just started yesterday, man. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Oh, it is bad. It's bad. If anybody over the age of 14 is working at O'Reilly's, I'd be shocked. It's nuts over there.
Yeah, that's the one thing I liked about the O'Reillys that we were at over by MAP is all the dudes knew who we were, and they come over and easily help us all the time. Like, what are you guys working on today? And they're like, oh, we're just working on this. And they're like, oh shit, cool, can we come over? Like, yeah, like that. So that's the thing that I loved about being like a fabricator, becoming more known for working on cars, is that you get a lot of people that want look up to you or ask you things, and just anything that you do, they just either want to copy or just make sure that they're doing it the right way, which is always a really good reassurance. Right. So. Mm-hmm.
You seem like a guy that would stir shit in a Facebook group. Am I right or no?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I will.
Just flaming someone like, dude, you don't do it that way.
No, I mean, it's just like sometimes you have to tell people like that. I got an argument with somebody in Jay-Z forum the other day that his NAG can make more power. Like, yes, it can if you build it, but he was talking about stock to stock. I'm like, no, your stock GE will blow up. Like, they made a VVTi, which is an IS300s, GS300s, 98 plus. It's the weakest Jay-Z. You put 400 horsepower at it, boom, throw in a rod, everything. But if you get the 96 GS300, it's an NA, but it's a non-VVTi, that can hold 800 all day. Like, I've seen people putting a 1J head on it with a 2J block like that, 800 plus horsepower all day. But if you use the other block, boom, shoots a rod. And then all these people are like, no, I swear, this is a better flowing head. This is better. Like, yes, after you build it, not from stock to stock, you can't compare that. It just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Some people are wrong, and they just really dig in too, don't they? They're just like,
Asperger's is really bad. That's what I call it that, because I had someone that I grew up with that was like that. Like, no matter what you said to them, it was their way or the highway. And I'm like, all right, it's okay to be wrong. No. But, yeah. I mean, I guess going off of his for learning from Fab, I mean, I grew up always around cars, I guess, when I was younger, and in the lowriders and stuff. I'm from Houston, Texas, so around there I usually grew up around slabs and like lowriders and a couple muscle cars here and there. And then growing up, I moved over here to Minnesota probably when I was like 9 or 10 years old, transitioning back and forth. Parents moved up here and stuff like that, and got into the Fast and the Furious. But at the same time was already dabbling into cars. And then, I just always wanted to be into cars. Slowly had an Integra when I was younger. Honda. It was like a B18 C5. I think it was a GSR swap. Mm-hmm. And C1 or C5. I can't remember. I haven't been in a Hondas in a very long time. And then out of that, just slowly started dipping into 240s and other cars because I had Need for Speed Underground. Saw all those games and stuff like that. I wanted to slowly dibble and dabble in other cars. But the older that I was getting, the more I was realizing that it was expensive to do anything that we did. So I always wanted to boost cars, change things. Then I was kind of getting into the drift cars where all those cars are like tube front ends and all this stuff. And I was like, if I ever got to that point, I wanted to learn it. And, didn't do anything about it for a while. And I was working at this appliance company, delivering appliances, destroying my back for like $17 an hour.
Yeah, making fridges.
Yeah, literally removing refrigerators like that song, and I just kind of snapped out of it one year. Just didn't want to do it anymore, and just decided to go towards like the automotive industry, but not technician wise, because I knew it's like we talked about earlier, don't do what you want to do because it'll kill your drive. I know if I worked on cars, I probably wouldn't want to work on cars after that. So I decided to get into fabrication to learn any exhaust work, piping, and everything like that. So I went to school for Dunwoody for 1 semester. Didn't finish because no one will tell you, but Dunwoody's expensive, very expensive, like $12K a semester. Then I couldn't afford to go to the second one, so I didn't even graduate. So all I did was pretty much go back to my old job and just try to figure out what I could do to find something else to do for fabrication, and I got let go from that job because just kind of lost drive being there, you know. MAP somehow had openings same time that, like Matt said, they had a couple openings for like entrepreneurship, or not entrepreneur, I guess apprentices, I guess is what they call this, you know, training, or they wanted to show us what to do. And I just went to a friend's house, did some training on like TIG welding, just trying it for like a day or two before I had an interview, and got in. We had Jim gave us a little test, and it was good enough to pass. And ever since then, it's kind of been, you know,
Not even sure how we passed.
yeah,
those
like
tests,
we
but-
looked at our welds and we're like,
Yep, looks good to us. You're hired.
houseway. Like literally, we're just like, I don't know how, whatever. He must have had a bad day or something, or a good day or something. Just I don't even know. He was just like,
Yep.
or maybe
Well,
it was
your
just-
shit welds are probably good welds to other people. I mean, I have like a Hobart that's like the highest one you can get and still be on 110. And yeah, I think I'm a good welder, but it's no way in hell.
Like I said,
As long as it sticks together
Yeah.
and it doesn't break.
Well, I'm still using flux
Doesn't
core
matter.
too. Like I'm not even running gas or
Oh,
anything.
okay.
I know that'll be a game changer, and I need to do that. But
Yep.
The one thing I tell
So-
people is if you're willing to get into it and you want to learn more, don't be afraid to like, contact us. Like I said,
Yeah.
if you give me some time, I'll come up for an hour or two, give you, you know, pay me for my gas, because if I have to come to my shop, because stuff's expensive now. Like, you know,
Oh,
but I'm not
absolutely.
afraid to show anybody to weld, because I know at the end of the day, when I was younger, I always wanted somebody to teach me, and I'm not afraid to teach anybody. That's kind of what my thing was when I was at fabrication manager / trainer. I slowly dibbled in that into training a lot of people for a few years. And then I passed it on to Matt, and I became the fab manager for MAP. And that was a really cool thing to do, is like be able to put your touch in other people to show them like how you do things. And
Yeah.
now I have a few friends that my buddy Chase, who's No Coast Fab, he does his own thing, moved to Tennessee, he's doing like fabrication for other people. I have a couple other friends that do stuff, titanium and everything, and they all came from technically us, because I'm not gonna say my children, but you know, people
Yeah.
that- but they learn the stuff off of us, and I'm glad that they could learn things from us, and now their careers are, you know, raising and going beyond places that we never thought that we would even be ourselves. So
Yeah.
So how old are you, each of you guys then?
I'm 33.
Okay.
29.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are up there.
Old shit.
You guys got. Well, you always,
After 25, it's downhill. Just like,
yeah. Well, that's 3
You're
months for me,
like,
bro.
I don't mind teaching young people. I'm thinking like I'm 40. Can you teach me how to weld?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll teach you how to Dougie.
Sounds good.
Teach you how to Dougie. too,
Yeah, actually-
Yeah. Sounds good.
But no, it's like that's cool. Like that you're kind of passing on that to like other people. Like it's just there's something to be said about educating others. Like I don't know. I feel like you get that's how you prove to people that you know what you're doing.
Like Matt
You know?
knows I'm not gonna name the person, but I had butted heads with people at MAP before, and there was one person that we're really good friends with him now, but there was one time that we got in really, really big head arguments about things, and one day when I needed help, he kind of shunned me on it, just, you know, made fun of me, and I just snapped, and I literally told him, I'm like, if you're not gonna teach me, then don't belittle me. Like, you either teach me or you belittle me.
That's fair.
You can't do or the other,
Yeah.
like, because it just, at the end of the day, I'm trying to learn what you know, and if you're not gonna teach me, then just stay the fuck out of my way, respectfully. Like, you know,
Right.
I'm trying to be at your level or more than that. When people gatekeep that stuff, it's just kind of like, you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Well, it's like I was listening to another podcast today, and like one of the comments that they had, it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start a diet," and somebody kind of laughs at you, like, "Okay." It's like, all right, how does what you just said help?
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
'cause-
making it worse for me.
Yeah, you're just getting in the way. So it's yeah, I totally get that. It's like if you at the very least, if you're gonna like, don't belittle me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Teach me, don't
yeah.
belittle me. That's literally my thing.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
always,
I get
like,
that.
That's the one way to make other people like go above and beyond in their life. Like if somebody doesn't know how to do something, that one little thing that you train them may have changed their career. That may switch things up
Dude.
for them to do things. Like literally, there's people that came in and wanted to work fab that. But where Josh was just he was just like prefab for us. He was cutting stuff, taught him how to weld, and now he's doing a couple fabrication things over at Eurocharge.
Oh, yep.
You know, he does stuff for them. Like, all I did was give him like an hour or two of dibbling and dabbling, and it just interests you enough to want to continuously perfect it and perfect it and perfect it. And that's the one thing I love about TIG welding. It's a pain in the fucking ass, but
Yeah.
once you get it down, that satisfaction, I can't even like compare it to anything.
Yeah, right when you see those dimes and that
You're like,
gold,
yeah,
silver
yeah.
color and stuff like that, it's like I
I've
want
seen
to
that stuff,
keep
and I'm
doing
like,
this
it
forever.
it looks good to me, and I'm not even a welder. I was like, it looks gorgeous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But
I know
then,
we'll share old photos, and we're like, oh, and we're like, those are good. Like, no, like,
yeah, yeah. But then on the other side, you know, you got the sloppy mechanic stuff. and they'll MIG weld a turbo kit together. It doesn't look good, but it works.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people are completely okay with that.
It still has like little
So-
pieces of the wire like hanging out of a
Yup,
certain angle.
like on the
There's holes in
inside of it
Yeah.
as well, and the exhaust flow. It's like, yeah, some people don't really care, but
It
just,
works.
you know, where
It
we're
works, it
at
works.
is, yeah, the stuff looks really nice, and,
Mhm.
you know, our bends line up good, and all the pipe is clean, stuff like that. So, like, it's definitely a different level than slot mechanics, obviously, but there's like two different groups of people. People like slot mechanics people, and then actual fabricators that care what their stuff looks like for the most part. So.
Yeah.
So I'm like as noob as it gets to this, right? Because I don't understand your world at all, right? So like literally like not at all. So what's the difference between TIG and MIG welding then?
So
I think that's what you said,
welding-
right?
Yeah, MIG welding has like it's a gun with the wire that comes out, and the gas
Right.
will come out, and then a TIG, you got a foot pedal, a torch, and then a wire in your other hand, and then you manually feed the wire in with your other hand when
A
you.
little more delicate care to it.
Yep. And
Is one easier than the other?
Depending.
No, I mean,
Okay.
yes and no. It's, you know, if you've been doing one thing for years and you try to do something else, you're gonna have an issue doing that other thing.
Right.
So, but TIG welding is, you know, there's no sparks. It's clean. MIG welding, it sparks. You know, you'll have holes in your clothes and
Yeah.
stuff
Oh yeah.
like that.
I
and
have
you
fine
fine
yeah,
sweatshirts.
you
with
get
holes in
burnt
them, yeah.
stuff. Yep, exactly.
You have
So,
a splatter landing in your hair, like when behind your helmet, and then you're like flipping your helmet, doing this, like, dude, it's the worst.
And they
Yeah.
make protective stuff
Yeah.
for all that, but nobody, you don't wear that shit. I don't wear it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
actually, I still have
especially
I think I have
if
a
you're in a hurry
burn
or
right there for
something.
MIG welding because I have a jacket and I have a hole in it, and it went through the hole, and like, it burned me in my jacket,
Yep.
like, because it even burns holes in the jacket, so it's like no matter what
Yeah.
you're wearing, you always get fucked up. But yeah, no, MIG is just, I mean,
It's basically, I've heard of wire feed welding.
Yeah.
Kind of type deal,
That's pretty
right?
much
Yeah,
what
so-
it is.
yeah.
But I mean,
And-
there's really, I know really good, MIG welders as well, where it looks like you would be laying it with TIG, but with just MIG welding, it's some people have it down. I mean, Matt, I don't know how he has it down. I have it
Yeah.
okay down.
I'm alright at
I'm
MIG,
more of a
but-
grinder when it comes to MIG welding because like sometimes I have to do a second pass to make it look better or something. But it's also dependent on the amperage because there's like 110 amp ones that a little bit harder to penetrate. It's a certain metal, and then you get the 220 amps, and those you can turn it the fuck up, and it'll just burn into
Yeah.
whatever and shit. That's the
And-
difference with that stuff too.
yeah, and MIG has its place in the automotive world. You know, if you do a cage, when you do a cage, you weld pieces of metal to your floor in the car, and then, you know, that's paint and body filler and stuff. So you usually will MIG weld that, and then weld the cage, TIG weld the cage to that, and then obviously together. So basically, you'll just strengthen a cage. I'm not sure what that plate is called exactly. I've never built a cage before, but
It's
I
a
know the
base plate.
concept.
It's the base plate for the cage, but pretty much the MIG will penetrate through anything. Where like,
Yeah, paint,
even if it's
oil.
not clean, like obviously you try to wire wheel all the paint, everything you can off, but if there's anything left in it, it'll just it'll ignore it. Whereas like TIG, the second a piece of paint, dirt, dust, it just picks it up, and the tip of your like sharp tungsten just goes into a ball, and then. So the thing about the tungsten, it's pointed a certain way and it points right at where you want it. As soon as it gets a ball on it, it like the line of like of light, I guess like a lightning bolt is pretty much what it is. Instead of striking where you want it, it's going like going wherever it
Right.
wants. And people don't realize like it's dirty. Stop. Like that's where I try to like make these fabricators better. Like as soon as you dip or anything or you get that tungsten, resharpen it. Why? Because now you're not fighting this like light going everywhere, and then that's what makes MIG welding nice on that stuff. But then you're also dealing with all the sparks at the same time. If you have any fuel or anything that could catch on fire, like that happens a lot, and then you gotta go find an extinguisher and try to not burn the building down. You know, had it happen a couple times, but you know. Stuff
So
like
then
that.
when you're getting into real heavy stuff, then you got to move up to like stick or what do they call that, arc? Or can you do that with
So
MIG
heavy
too?
as in what exactly?
Like thick stuff. Like we're welding together like, I don't know, 3/4 inch plate steel and shit like that. Is
Well, I
that-
guess it depends what that's for. Like for like dumpsters and stuff like that, we use like a MIG, but it's called spray arc.
Okay.
Not really sure what the difference is too much. I should know because I went to school for it. But yeah, I mean you can also TIG weld that really thick stuff too. You know, you probably want like a water cooler, like a big welder that can actually put out the power, and then a water cooler puts water through the torch and keeps the torch itself cool and the rest of the machine cool and stuff like that. So it doesn't
Otherwise, if
overheat.
you don't, you'll melt that fucking handle to the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep.
Like I was aluminum welding some the other day at like 140 amps, 150 amps, and it's not water cooled. My hand was like, my glove shrinks. like literally the leather, it gets so hot that it becomes eventually my strong hand glove. Like literally, it's just, like it's small as hell. Like it literally, we always make fun of it. Me and Max used to do it all the time. Like my strong hand, because he like struggled to get it on. But literally, that's how hot the torch would get, and literally would like it melts the leather.
Smoking and
Yeah,
stuff.
smoking stuff start on fire and everything. It's good stuff.
Is TIG equipment cheaper than MIG or vice versa, or is it all the same?
There's bang for buck, I guess, for machines
Okay.
nowadays. Me and him both started. I guess I don't know where he started, but at MAP we always had Miller, which is kind of expensive stuff. I would say the Gucci of the TIG welders. But then he's moving over to like Everlast over with Dave and them, and I'm kind of debating on getting one for JWP if they want to get me one over there because for the price you can literally it's what $1,600 you can get a 220 with water cooler, whereas mine is just a Airgas Dynasty. It's a 210. That was $3,500 used, and there's $7,000 new.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, but the technology is like beyond. It's got square wave, all this stuff for aluminum, where it changes different frequencies and stuff. So like it penetrates different points, arc differently. Like the more you get into TIG welding, it's really scientific as well because a lot of the metal material it works. Like I don't know, it works with the machine. I guess when you set it up right, because there's a lot of things like main TIG steel, you don't really have to change anything. But when it comes to like aluminum stuff, you can change the waves. So the heat cycles are different, so it doesn't overheat in certain areas or points. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just the more you mess with and dial with this stuff, you get it dialed down.
Yep. Yeah, and Dave bought a brand new Everlast.
Yeah, he had me get a
Typhoon
video of that
500.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a freaking sweet machine.
What's that thing?
A lot.
Down payment on a house.
It was quite a bit, yeah.
Still cheaper than a Dynasty.
Yeah, well, he got a quote for a Dynasty 280. It's a badass Miller, and it was like 18 grand.
Oh wow.
Like I
It's
said, it's
like-
the Gucci of
He's like, yeah, while I'm looking at these Everlasts, I was like, I'm completely fine with the Everlast. I do not expect you to spend 18 grand on me for a welder, And
I mean, you
so,
can.
well, yeah, I was like, you can if you want, but like, these Everlast machines are sweet. They've had, really good reviews, and then he got into contact with one of their sales reps, and then they just released the Typhoon 500 like a week or two prior before you pulled the trigger on it, and that thing showed up, and
It was fucking buzz.
it's a very nice machine, so I'm very lucky.
How big is it? I haven't seen one yet.
Like, as in tall?
Yeah. Is it like?
Yeah, it's tall.
Is it on a cart or did you? Is it?
It's
like one of those?
as big as Andrew's ESUB.
Okay, so it's like that. That's
So
not too bad.
yeah, it's big size stuff like that. So, and yeah, that thing will weld anything I'd ever really needed to weld. So
Well, that's one thing I love about all the shops, like especially like during the times that we're kind of in right now, where a lot of people are kind of like holding on to their money. Is a lot of the shops locally are investing. Like Dave's investing, like Rat's
Yep.
invested. Like the second shop, like this ain't cheap. Like
right.
it's really cool to see all these people investing, especially like in their employees. Like I don't know, have you guys kind of been seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, even as an entrepreneur, I understand where like they're doing in the business aspect. Like I had to spend all the money on myself just to be able to make an income. And I mean, like I said, my welder was $3,500 used, and then I had to buy all the leads. I didn't even come with the leads or the pedal or anything, so that was another $1,000 on top of that. And then set up a shop, lift. So like I understand like these guys, I don't even want to know how much they're spending for a whole shop because like just in storage that I have that I'm allowed to do whatever I want, I'm probably $7-8 grand into just stuff that I need to make a couple grand a month.
Well, you got to lift and stuff like that as well.
But
so
and then racking
Just
stuff to
squeeze,
store stuff, piping, and then everything it adds up fast. Believe me.
Yeah. So is that what you got like a storage unit then that you're working on?
So I'm in Prescott. I have a shop that I'm allowed to do pretty much anything. I was allowed to install a lift and everything in it. The only thing sucks is I don't really have
Prescott,
water.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm
So-
from Hudson. So
Yeah, so I'm right there, right off of 29 and like the Quick Trip area over there.
Yep.
Like, right around that little area. And just they gave me the okay to do whatever, and pretty much just been trying to figure out if
This
that's...
Prescott, they don't have much else going on.
No, but but the cool thing is that in Prescott I have my buddy Brian Hayes. He does Hayes Performance. He's a bender. He's a tube bender. So anything that I need like pipe bending and stuff, just run up the street, literally 2 minutes away, bend me whatever I want, and it's made out of stainless. So that's the nice thing about having someone. He used to work for MAP with us, and eventually started doing his own thing, just because like you learn these things and you want to invest in yourself and make some money on the side. So.
You guys are kind of everywhere. All you like old
we're-
Mac guys.
dude, I run
Yep,
everywhere.
yep. Shout out to Hayes Performance.
Yeah.
We get some tube from him as well for DRSC. So
Yeah, anything you need in hand, just drive to Prescott. He'll have it instead of having to wait for Vibrant or whoever to send you a whole week later. Because sometimes nobody wants to pay overnight shipping. And
Yeah.
he has it. As long as you're not afraid to drive into Prescott, he'll have it for you, washed all, and he cleans and washes them too and everything. He has straight pipe if you need it as well, and he is a Vibrant dealer as well, and he also does K&N filters and a lot of stuff too. So if anybody want to do entrepreneur stuff, don't be afraid to hit up Brian.
Well, if you got a fun car, it's not a bad drive. I mean, it's a cool area.
No, I
Yeah,
love the
it
I
really
love the
is,
drive.
yeah.
The cops don't really like us, but
Yeah,
whatever.
well, fuck those guys.
So just don't be too loud.
The guy who owns like half the restaurants in Hudson, he's all the restaurants in Prescott. He's been buying them up and opening them up down there too. So,
Place is really
do
cool.
you live down in that area then?
No,
or?
I live in Bloomington, but
Okay.
when I was working at MAP, I got that place originally, and it was only like a 10-minute drive after I left work. Because eventually we all started wanting to do our own thing after MAP because we knew it was, sorry to say, slowly starting to go away. And
You kind of get these vibes when
Yeah.
things are kind of going away. Yeah.
Well, plus
Yeah.
I have 4 cars, so the last thing I want to do is have I had a couple cars sitting in the back of lot at MAP, and there was a time when we were kind of getting yelled at because we'd leave our shit there, and they'd be like, "Hey man, you gotta move your shit," or the snowplow would come, and they need to shove snow into a parking spot, and our cars would be parked there. So it's so eventually we had to in the wintertime they made us now take cars. So eventually I just started getting my own shop just because it's really nice to have everything in one area instead of having to go to a buddy's house here, another buddy's where my other car is and stuff. And I just started getting my whole, I guess I would say, my cluster of shit together in one area.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have it there. And I'm not. And the positive thing is it helps people that need anything that need done to it. If you need an exhaust work done, I'll do it. If you need anything to do on your own car, I have a lift, for people to come and hang out and stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to invest in, some place that I could do things without being at home or somewhere to disturb other people. We're in the middle of nowhere in Prescott, so you can be as loud as you want and everything, and just it's pretty nice.
So we're talking about welding almost exclusively, but what are you guys? So in Fab? There's all kinds of stuff. Are you running plasma cutters then too? You've got torches, or any of you running CNC machines, anything like that to cut stuff out, or?
I ran a little bit of CNC when I was at MAP for a little bit with Derek, but I didn't really get too far besides a couple months of messing, setting up some programs and stuff like that, but
Okay.
not designing. I wish I did. So I'm still actually trying to find someone to help me do training because that's what I want to invest is CAD design. That's the thing is I got a mind to create things, but I've never been really computer savvy. So if there's anyone out there that wants to show me how to do some CAD design, don't be afraid to
Fusion
contact me.
360
Yep.
and a little bit on
I'll-
YouTube, man.
I'll teach
can
you how to
make
weld.
anything you want, dude.
I'll teach you how to weld if you teach me how to make CAD designs. Like I said, that's a fair trade. That's the reason why I want to train people. Is if
Right.
you want to learn to weld, teach me how to do things. I will easily invest.
Goes
my
both
time.
ways,
Oh,
dude.
But you get what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Yep.
It's I do the same way that I love about TIG welding is that I can do work for someone and they'll do something for me in their field. I have a friend that's painting. I'll do some pipe work or whatever I want, and then hey, I need this fender fixed. He'll paint it for me for free. So it's a fair trade. Sometimes things line up, and so it's nice to have a skill that you're able to hand off to or help other people with and stuff like that. So
That kind of goes through almost every industry. So when I was a restaurant manager and a cook for a long time. We used to make stuff and send it to other restaurants, and then they would trade. They would give us food. I'm a low voltage electrician now, so I'll go hang TVs for somebody, and then they'll do stuff for me. It's that's an awesome thing to have. Just have a trade that you can trade for. That kind of stuff is nice.
it takes you a long way. You don't realize how far it actually gets you. Welding is for the last 8-9 years of my life is what kept me going. Otherwise, I don't even know what the fuck I'd be doing. Respectfully, like I said, I was moving refrigerators and doing stupid shit before, and I was breaking my back, wrecking my knees, and for literally dimes, compared to what we make now. Like I said, we're not rich. Like I said, we don't. I don't think we made great money, but MAP also. I guess the reason why we probably never got paid as much as we probably think we're worth is because they gave us the opportunity to build our own cars.
Right.
Which is huge. Yeah.
They didn't hire in a master welder. They
Yeah.
made one.
Yeah, they made
Right.
us. But it also
You guys are also young though. In the grand scheme of things,
Right.
where you're gonna be in 10 years is gonna be a completely different ball game.
but
Yeah.
that's in a way that's kind of how you reel people in though. You're not trying to say in a way, but pay them a little bit less, but you give them the things that they wouldn't be able to afford. Even though I was getting paid less at first, I was never going to be able to afford the shop that I have now. You know, like so I had to slowly build myself to a level where I could afford that type of stuff.
I'm pretty sure Brian May did the math on what the shop was worth to us working there after hours. It was like an extra $15 an hour or something like that. Not sure how he did it, but he's like, yeah, this is worth like $15 an hour
couple of Red
extra on
Bulls.
top of what you're making right now. I was like,
A couple of Red Bulls, he figured it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not surprised that he figured it out because that
Yeah.
guy's got a lot. I mean, it's like a human computer.
Yep.
But yeah,
We just like, literally
And-
figures it out.
and yeah, like you said, we're not rich, but like I'm happy going to work every day. You know, I could go be a pipe fitter. That's what I was gonna do, and then Dave's shop came along, and I could be making a lot more. You know, or in a couple years I could be making over $100,000 a year. But like I wouldn't.
But also
be-
doing something you give a shit about too.
Right, I'm not. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be happy out there in the pipeline. You know, welding all day in the hot or something like that. You know, I'm building cool shit
In an
Every
air conditioned
single-
building.
every single day too, and it's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's a dream really. You know, if you like welding, if you like cars, it's really a dream job at the end of the day.
there's
Yeah,
something
so, like-
to like building something. To like be able to step back and look at it when you're done with it is
Yeah.
like there's a whole nother like feeling that some people like if you were doing data entry on a computer or you're doing something really stupid that you don't ever get that feeling. Like even when I was in construction and like I'd build a deck and at the end of it you look back and you're like, fuck yeah, man, that
Play
looks
the-
sweet.
Yeah,
Play the
yeah.
Home Depot theme song in the back.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like only like a small percentage of the population can actually get that feeling of
Right.
feeling accomplished after building something with your hands. Like, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
I think that's
I
why
wouldn't
me
change
and
for
Matt probably
anything.
got along so well because we'd both finish things and be like, dude, fucking good job.
Check
like,
this out, yeah.
Like I'd finish my 240, be like, dude, I love your car, and he'd finish his fucking car. I'm like, dude, that thing sounds fucking nice. But we're always been like very proud of our work. The one phrase that I know he's heard me say a billion times is if I'm not happy with it going on my own car, then I'm not happy with it going on your car. So
Yep.
like anything that I ever built, like I was doing something at JWP this last week. It was a Civic that I'm doing, and one of the exhausts, like the angle of it turned, like it was supposed to go straight, and it bent a little bit. And somebody's like, "Oh, that's fine." I'm like, "No, dude, it bugged. I cut it off, redid it, and now it looks perfect." Because I'm like, dude, that 2-degree difference, dude, it just bothers the fuck out of it. Or some
Yeah.
sloppy mechanics like. Whatever, it ain't gonna change the difference of whatever, but it does.
Yeah.
I won't sleep at night. Like I will not sleep. I'll wake up at like 4:00 in the morning, just like you're ready, just ready to go fix it. Like now.
The car's out there somewhere running around.
Is that his personal car? Or is that one?
No, that the white one, that's some customer, but
Okay, I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But it was
okay.
like that car, like even then, just finishing a customer car, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's not my vehicle. Like
It's huge.
I don't even the photos that I take. Like I know somebody will look at it and be like, hey, you could have done like, and
Yeah.
I don't even want that comment to pop up. Like I was like, I already fixed it.
Yeah, that's your
Anyway.
portfolio. That's
Yeah.
showcasing. Like
Yeah,
somebody
it's-
could be going through your work and be like, somebody might recognize it and be like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had people ask me, "Hey, man, like, can you weld this muffler in for me? Just do it quick and dirty. I don't care how it looks. Like, I don't do shitty work. Like, somebody's gonna ask you, "Hey, who did that?" Or, "Oh, Matt did." Well, why would I go to Matt for any of my work? So it's I turn down lots of work when people ask. Just do it quick and cheap. It's like, no,
That's a good position to be
go
in.
somewhere else. Like, I don't need it. You know, a couple $100 extra would be nice, but like, I'm not gonna do shitty work just to make a little bit of money. I'm gonna do something nice and.
It's like that whole just because it took me 10 minutes, it doesn't mean it's cost less. It took me 10 years to figure the fuck out.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
Get
that's-
this a
Yeah.
couple inches closer, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Instead
but
of-
sorry.
No, just,
yeah,
you can just pull it towards you a little
but
bit.
you get what
You're
I'm
good.
saying is like
Hot dog length away, dude.
Whoa, but you get what I'm saying is like is people want like the cheapest like prices for things, but it's like I told you my welder, like, oh, can you just do this for like $20? Like, dude, to turn my welder on, it's $50 minimal. Because the gas I'm paying now, my gas bottle is like 100. It went up like 3 times the price. I don't know if you knew that, but I was paying
No, I don't
$40
pay
for
for it.
gas. It pays 100. It's like $120 now for the same bottle.
Build back better, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like, no, yeah, or like that's the thing that's scary because it's like we back purge things and like it makes you get close to like fuck the prices of not back purging is when you shove gas inside the pipe. So when you're welding the outside, it welds the inside. When you don't put gas inside it, it kind of sugars on the inside. This is another fabrication thing that I like.
What's sugaring?
Gas.
Yeah, just tell
Sugaring
us.
is like what like. It looks like gray ash on the inside. So where the the same seam that you welded, on the outside it may look pretty, but the inside it looks like gray, clumpy sugar, like on the hole because it goes through, but it burns through. Kind of looks like a shitty MIG weld on the inside.
Yep.
But when you back purge it, and if you do it the right way, it'll literally weld itself on the inside because the gas that's on the outside of you welding is also on the inside. It's preventing it from sugaring. It's literally just, it's kind of forming it on the inside. And if you really look at it and you penetrate it right, you'll see a weld on the inside and on the outside.
So why does it matter what it looks like on the inside?
It doesn't, but it makes it stronger. If you also
for strength.
for structural strength. Back purging is like I said, it welds it on the inside. Where now that if you don't back purge it, it can crack there on the inside and slowly crack outwards. And then here we go, repeating, trying to fix that type of shit, and stuff like that.
Yep.
Hey guys, real quick, if you are this far into the show, you are probably enjoying it. That said, if you got 5 or 10 seconds to jump on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you're listening, to just drop a quick review, it will go a really long way in getting us in front of more car enthusiasts. A share on Facebook and Instagram doesn't hurt either. Let's get back to the show.
So
Have you guys worked much with, like, I don't know, is titanium difficult to work with or not really?
I've dealt a little bit with it, but it's definitely a lot harder.
Yeah,
It's like aluminum, but more difficult, I guess I would say.
Really?
Yeah, it's between like stainless and aluminum. I welded like a small, it's called a coupon. You get a 2x4 piece of flat stock or whatever, and you weld 2 of them together, and that's like the most I've ever done with titanium.
Okay.
But I've been doing a lot more aluminum lately, which is nice. So I was never really that good at aluminum when I was working at MAP.
So practice makes perfect.
Yep.
Can you weld a pop can together now? I've seen that where the guys like take 2 halves of a pop can. I'm like, holy crap.
It's crazy.
I've done it, but it didn't look great the first
Yeah.
time I did it.
I think I might be able to, but the first time I tried to, it was just atrocious. It's just
Yeah.
a big hole. It's so thin and
Yeah.
like
I love aluminum.
I'll have to try that again.
The one thing that I hate is like I had to weld some bungs this last week on some valve covers, and like literally there was oil all over it, dude. It fights you. Like I don't know how to hate it. Like aluminum. Okay, so TIG welding, steel, it's like stainless steel. It doesn't really pick up so much on that little arc, but when you transition to aluminum, it goes from AC to DC. So like the current, like all of it's different. It does like the polarity, everything's completely different. For some reason, when you weld aluminum, anything around it, it pulls the porosity out of it. So if there's oil inside of it embedded from the ages that it was, it'll literally pull it out. So aluminum, it's good for you to burn it, bake all the oils, clean it, continuously wash, sandblast. Like you want to pretty much get it as clean as you can before you even start welding it. Otherwise, you're fighting demons. Is the easy way to say it. Like it's just popping back at you, looking like shit, falling down, and just you know what I'm saying. I've said some words I've probably never said in my life before. Just getting
make
so
no
pissed.
swear words.
It's like just because you're just like
Just learning languages on the spot.
yeah. Like I dibbled and dabbled with titanium a little bit, but the thing about it is that it's a lot more expensive. So like I did pie cuts on my 240, like just because I had the skills, I decided to do it, and that probably only cost me like $200 plus my time and whatever. But if I had done it in titanium, I probably would have spent over $1,000 in just material. And then cutting it all, I probably would have destroyed a bunch of blades because it's like one of the strongest materials. And then the gases and trying to get it to, they probably would have cost $2-3 grand in gas, time, like patience, blades. Like, well, that's why I just like sometimes you have to leeway like the weight of your money. I don't know how to say like how much money you want to spend is I guess is like how much you want to invest into your engine bay because titanium looks cool, and it's lighter, but it's not bang for buck is the way to say it.
No, that's a lot of money.
No, it's a lot.
I just got suckered into the same thing. I bought a new hub for my supercharger pulley now because I'm going to go to a smaller pulley. So I could have gotten it in stainless or titanium. It was like $200 more. And I'm like, ooh, fuck it, it's titanium. I did it just because.
I like titanium, but like I said, it's a lot harder to deal with, and it's just that's the only reason why. If it wasn't for the price, I probably would go towards it. I do like aluminum, but I know I like a stainless piping and charge piping. I like to use stainless steel just because I feel like it takes more heat. It doesn't pop off couplers, and also when it gets hot, it doesn't collapse on itself because once you get aluminum to a certain heat, you clamp down, it can fold on itself. Or stainless, I don't think does. Yeah. But everyone has their own like preferences of what they like. Just my preferences, I like stainless in my opinion. But,
so if somebody came to you guys like open checkbook, you could probably make it work then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's if they got it. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Minnesota, dude, but some of these other out-of-state guys, man, they'll just be like, all right, here's, $200 grand, make it happen.
I gotta figure out how to invest that type of money in myself, man. Start selling feet pics or something, seriously.
Just start an OnlyFans where you wear nothing but your leather apron and you weld shit.
I almost made it. Literally. Me welding, with no freaking mask on. See how long that lasts.
You know that's a category. It has
No,
to
it
be a
is.
category.
Yeah.
We've talked about it multiple times. Like, man, I'm about to do something just to make extra money. Sell feet pics on these welders.com.
Well, I think there's people like making food and stuff on there and stuff.
Yeah, there's a
like
guy
that.
who like wears nothing but an apron and makes bread, and I don't even think he shows his face. And he makes like
Yeah.
tons of money.
Yeah, there's comedy on there. I'm pretty sure some podcasts I listen to. They're like, oh yeah, I got special on OnlyFans, and I was like, do they really? I thought it was only for that one thing only. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some chick, I was like, I follow this one guy on TikTok or whatever, and he like goes into people's like finances, and he's like, "You're spending 4% on this bullshit," like whatever. And he's talking, I think it's like an OnlyFans chick, whatever. She's like making like $2 million a month, and I'm just like, get out of here, dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they want to say that equal rights, respectfully. Like some of these females are making a lot more money than I will ever make in my entire life, ever. Respectfully. Like,
Yeah.
happy for you, but
Yeah.
good for you. I will never be able to make that money.
It evens out somewhere, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way it's gonna work for me is if I give it to everybody for free and they have to pay me to not send it to them.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
yeah, right.
Tax write-off?
Maybe.
So you've been on your own for how long then?
I think since November.
Okay.
I was
Is
working
that
for a
when you
couple-
left? Matt?
No, so I got let go from MAP like because of the whole. Well, originally I got let go from MAP probably a year and a half ago, but instead of leaving for fabrication, I went over to the engine department. They still needed like a disassembler, so I started disassembling / welding their like parts back.
Because they're
on.
like
So,
cutting off departments, right?
Yeah,
is
there
that what it was?
like I said, it was 2 shifts. Then they knocked the whole shift
Yeah.
down, and then they were trying to take some of us out, and I think it was like maybe pay grade. I don't know. Can't exactly describe
who
what
knows,
they were
yeah.
doing, but I was kind of up there. Maybe I don't know. Either way, they asked if if there was any other positions that I would want. Otherwise, they would try to like bump me down in pay or whatever. But I kind of took that as a no. I wouldn't take less pay if I went somewhere else. But then they ended up finding a place for me to like in the engine department to disassemble engines, check for any problems, cracked cranks, spun bearings, any stuck ring lands or anything. And that's what I did for a while. I welded heads back together, did studs and removed studs and everything for a really long time. And then eventually they ended up having to let go of that area as well too.
Right.
So I moved on from there, and I went to go work for Nth for a little while. Do little fabrication, little mechanic stuff for them. Grateful to work for them. Super cool place. Grateful for anything that I learned from there, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I just decided to do my own thing just because I wanted to invest into my friends a lot more, and that's just like not just friends, but like to do my own thing for people, and that's why I kind of did my own garage thing, invested a few grand into like TIG welders and my lift and everything, and I've been okay for the last 6-7 months of doing it by myself.
Getting
Just-
by.
Yeah, well, it's still like there's a learning curve, so it's like you can fab, you can do whatever, but still getting the part list of people's things. Like I usually just try to do charge pipe exhaust because that's kind of what pushed me through. But I had a R32 Skyline that showed up a couple weeks ago, and he wanted a 1JZ VVTi. So it's a 1J and a Nissan. It's kind of my thing, like I said. And he just wanted everything that he needed to get it as close as he could to get it running. And I finished the fuel system for it, did all the charge piping, mounted the intercooler, did an oil cooler. I did a tucked radiator for him, ran all the wiring for him, did majority of anything else that he could want me to do. Full exhaust all the way to the 4.5-inch tip, and then pretty much he's like 5% from finishing it. So running, getting fuel, mounting the ECU, a couple of ground cables and wires, and you should be able to start it up. So that's kind of what I've been doing, is like letting people bring their cars to me, and if they're not afraid to hand me a checkbook, I guess, or amount of certain money to do whatever, I'll do it. It's kind of my thing. That's why I call it Elegant Garage, because at the end of the day, people's cars end up leaving pretty elegant in a certain way, like different stylish ways. Like I create my own fuel systems and stuff, and bracketry and things that you can't buy off the shelf. So, and that's the one thing I guess I'm really grateful of learning at MAP, is you learn to fab, but then you learn your irks and quirks of things that you can do. I call it artism. He's seen it where I'll be training someone in. It just fabrication clicks into some of us in our minds just like that. Like I'll be training someone in, and they'll be struggling with a piece of pipe to fit it in a certain area. He's seen it. He's laughed at me about it, where I come up and I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, I can't get this to fit. And I just look around, go grab a different piece of pipe, not even measure it. I'm telling you, just cut, quick sand, pops right in place. They're like, fuck. And I'm like,
I get what you're saying. Just kind of like this like natural talent you kind of develop, like hone. Because like I know like I'm in this weird camp of like there is like natural talents, but there isn't, right? I feel like some people might be good at it, they just haven't discovered it yet. It's like a fish trying to climb a tree sort of deal. I feel like you kind of found that like niche that you're like really good at, and just I don't know, just keep getting better at it. And so how far is Princeton from here then?
Prescott.
Prescott, yeah, same thing.
From right here now, probably about an hour.
Hour?
Maybe.
Okay.
45
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say that, yeah.
So
From Hudson, it's 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
like north.
How
South.
far is it from Balloon?
Oh,
For-
okay.
No, I guess for map, I'm 10 minutes past map.
Okay.
So like you just go into the border and it's 5
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
from the
okay.
border,
I know,
so-
yeah. I
so
know that
That's
area.
pretty much where it's at. So it's not super
It's a
far.
cool little town. There's a lot of meth
got-
there, I think.
Is that where
rather
there's
than
a like
yeah.
crazy like bridge, like the suspension bridge?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
the one
the
with
one.
the mesh, like you can see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's-
drive through it all the time. We do our little car things,
Yeah.
our little cruises.
Yeah, the Prescott cruises.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the split, there's a town that goes to the right, and then you go to the left. Up the hill is where I am. Up to the left, then to the right, take a left. It's
It's
like,
actually pretty. They got good food, good bars. Like it's a cool little place. To
Yeah,
hang
I
out.
regularly drive an hour to go get food somewhere else in a small little
fine
town.
with
yeah, bro. I do it
It's
every
a
day.
gorgeous drive. Like from Hudson to
I do love
Prescott,
it. I do
you
love
go
it.
through that. There's that Highway F or County
Yep.
Road F where you go through that little twisties and down in that little ravine and
If you go to if you get into Prescott, you take a right, strikes right to the town. You go down on the 25-mile-an-hour road that sucks. As soon as you get past that, it's just trees and hills
Yeah.
and like, train track,
Yeah.
and you're on the side of the river and shit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
we're
probably
gonna
do
be
that.
talking. I've got a Mustang that needs an engine bay shaved and all
Bring
kinds
it.
of stuff. So
You bring it.
we'll be. I'm now that I've met you, this whole Bronco 2JZ thing that I've had
me
kicking
know.
here, I'm thinking it might come to fruition.
Let me know, man. Like I said,
All
I'm
right.
not afraid. They're making a lot of stuff that's pretty easy and plug and play too. Like I said, even if you talk to Sean, he'll probably get you a Haltech to like it's
Yep.
damn near ready to fucking plug and play.
Yeah.
Or finish a few wires on it, boom, ready to go. It's crazy. Like that's the one thing is like when I first did my 240, it was like when I first did my JZ swap, it was one of the first wiring specialties harnesses way back in the day, with like when the AM Infinity first came out. So like one of the old ECU, like it's old ECU now, but and that was a test dummy for wiring specialties to see if it would work. And literally that was like one of the first plug and play kits that they had made, because back in the day before that, you had to hardwire your stock harness or convert it over. Like there was no plug and play harnesses, there was no Haltech, there was no wiring specialties, there was no Panic wiring on what any other companies that you could think of now. Where now you could literally order whatever chassis, whatever year, whatever you want to put into it. And it's just literally, all right, just credit card swipe, boom, it's already to your door. All you do is plug and play, connect some stuff, run a power cable to whatever, and damn near fucking starts you up.
Wow.
Same with Holly. Holly's the same way with anything else damn near.
Yep.
It was crazy to see that, like when they took the Holly out and put the Haltech in. Like, I
Yep.
mean, and that was with delays. So I got there at like 10 or whatever in the morning, and I left at like 2 in the morning or whatever. So like a 16-hour day over there. I was filming for those guys. There was a number of things that they had to overcome, but like for the actual like putting in like the harness and all that was like I was actually kind of surprised like how quick it was, because like in the back of my head I'm thinking like, how long does it take to wire a whole fucking car? Like I'm like, I'm gonna be here till next Saturday.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
It's a different
Haltech's
feel.
killing the game now with that new Rebel LS.
Yeah.
It's the Terminator competitor. So I'm surprised to see how far they go with that and what other changes stuff they'd make.
You got to remember as well, though, them taking that harness out and put it back in, that's their job. So, like, that's like the fabrication aspect.
yeah, I
it's
could
like
never figure
us,
that.
like, no different than us, like, for fabrication, we get things done at a certain speed. Like, Sean and them probably ripped out multiple LS harnesses on that stuff. So, it's like, it's second nature to them pretty much. So,
Yeah, true. Like they were going. They were
I'd
working
probably
fast.
struggle. At first, I'd be like, I don't know where this goes.
It's not too bad. It's you plug everything in, all the sensors and stuff, and then it's switch power, constant power, and then a ground, and then figure out where to mount your ECU, and then you're done. Besides a tune.
Well, that's where that shop rate comes from too, right? Like if I were to go do it, like think about I'm starting from like ground zero, by the way, when it comes to working on cars almost. So it's like I would never figure it out. But even somebody who thinks that, I'll just do this myself in a weekend, that's never gonna happen.
That's like the dudes that are like, it's $200 to LS swap your car. Like, no, just because you
so-
buy a
yeah.
junkyard motor for $200, you're not gonna LS swap it for $200.
No.
Transmissions aren't cheap anymore. Like, even, dude, I don't even. I tell people like the JZ world. Like nowadays, it sucks because the JZ is $4,500 used. I bought my first two 1Js for $400 a piece. My first R154 for $500. Like I haven't paid never more than $15,000 to $2,000 for a JZ. They're all $5, $6, $7, $8 now because the economy or the whatever shot its skyrocket. And like even transmissions, R154s are $1,500. Beat this shit out of and like grind, and people still want to spend that much. Even LSs aren't cheap anymore. What?
No, that T56
Yeah.
you said you just got. Those
Magnum,
were
that's-
$2,500 a few years ago, and now
Not
would you pay
even.
probably $4 or $5 grand for that thing?
37 shipped to
Yeah.
the shop, so not
New.
bad. It's brand new.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cheap.
it's,
I'm saying like
that's pretty
used
good.
are $3,000.
Yeah.
That's what people are trying to get for theirs.
Yep.
And like back in the day, they were $1,000, $800. Like
Mm-hmm.
like You used to be able to just LS swap or JZ swap whatever for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this ain't that world anymore. Man.
The Magnum,
Seriously.
yeah, the Magnum's actually like an aftermarket transmission though too. So you got the T56 that comes in the GTOs and the Camaros and stuff like
the
that.
Terminator Mustangs.
Yep.
Yep. So the Magnum is actually a TR6060 gear set and like a T56 case.
Yeah, they're
so
supposed to
it's
be
like
beefier.
700 horsepower, 700 foot-pounds of torque capable, or something like that, and something smaller than a TR6060. So yeah, it should be pretty stout.
Yeah,
So
because Kyle has a TRC60, right? I don't know. Either way, I think it takes 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how that transmission is
He
still
beats
alive.
the snot out of that
Literally.
thing.
The
Like,
TR66 are pretty stout. That's what I have in my orange car. And a guy that I had put it in for me was like, dude, we're gonna have to like, he had to like lower the engine down and like put things together as we put it up into the thing. He thought he might have to bang the tunnel a little bit. Yeah, they're not small.
No, Kyle, he has it's a LSA S10. You've probably seen it at Power Cruise or Proving Grounds doing burnouts, like the black S10 that does nasty burnouts. Yeah, that
Yep.
thing's fourth gear, 870 miles an hour
Holy
wheel speed.
shit.
yep.
The burnouts are scary. When metal goes flying to you, it's like getting hit in the face with like a fucking fist. Like literally, it hurts. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I don't know how that thing holds, but yeah, she's strong. So
Are you guys attending any events this year?
yeah, I'm actually going to a drift day on the 20th of April. So it's a D-Day, Shawano. It should be a drift day there.
Okay.
So I haven't drifted in a few years. Kind of like stayed away for a little while, try to save money, buy the dream cars, and I was trying to get a house and all this other stuff. But the market likes to not let me do that. So
Yeah.
so I've just kind of decided to go back and do a couple events this year and just enjoy myself.
Go hang out with Michael Morgan over there.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Michael Morgan.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Steal his Corvette.
I thought he was selling that thing.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to sell it, but he wants to do that now. And then the season comes back and you get that itch again.
Yeah.
I feel like he'll keep it.
Yeah, I probably won't go to any events with my car. It's mostly just a street car, something to have fun with.
What car was that again?
It's a 1980 Fairmont.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Nope, it's brown. It's kind of ugly. There's dents on it. There's scratches, but
It's a grandma
does
sleeper.
sweet burnouts and yeah, just street car.
Yeah.
I was
Nothing-
gonna do
nothing
a
crazy.
Fairmont wagon and then put all of the Fox body front end stuff on it, like literally the body kit,
Okay.
all that stuff, the ground effects and all that crap, so it looked like a Fox in the front, but then it was wagon on the back
Yeah.
end.
Wagons
Those
are getting
kinda
hard
cool.
to find too.
Yeah, I know.
I guess even the regular Fairmonts are hard to
Yeah,
find.
so you struggled to find even like a hood and stuff for
Yeah.
that thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was originally going to do a first gen S10. I had a lead on one, then the guy sold it out from under me, and then I just found this thing in the middle of Wisconsin. It's like, well, I'm done with my DSM. I originally wanted like a street car, and I overbuilt it. I did built auto trans in it, so the straight cut gears are extremely annoying on the highway. It
I'm
reaches
sure.
frequency, and it would just like burn your freaking ears out. And it was
And the
gutted.
and the temps of that trans too.
Yeah, well, I ended up
Oh, you
figuring
figured
out the temps. Yeah, I put a really huge trans cooler on there, but yeah, it was gutted. It was a cage, and I drive it, and I'm like, I don't even enjoy this thing anymore. So that's what I'm going for with the Fairmont. I want to enjoy my car again. So it's been a very long time since I was able to enjoy a car. So
Sweet.
What was that car that DeVito just sold?
Oh, that was
Malibu
another wagon, but
Malibu
yeah,
wagon. That's
that
what he
was
sold
a
to my
good
buddy
deal.
Junior.
I thought about hitting him up on that too. If it wasn't so much Chevy crap in it, I would have been like,
My buddy bought it. My buddy
Did he
Junior-
really?
My buddy Junior, he's like my brother. Yeah, he
Yeah,
bought
it sold in like 3 hours or something
Yeah,
like that.
well,
or
he-
not even.
Well, he came and talked to me about it. He's like, "What do you think I should do?" He's like, "It's been a while." So I was like, "Do it." I'm like, I know Joe builds his car pretty fucking
Yeah.
well. So I was like, just make sure that she's not like too rusty or anything. Like that's the only thing I ever check for people. But I know Joe would never spend money on a car and build it
No,
on something.
he
rusty.
said he was literally daily driving.
Yeah,
it,
he was
so,
there
yeah.
for a long time, and it starts right up. I saw the video of the day that he sold it to Junior, and he literally just started right up, cranked right up, and he's like, it started in 5 months. It started right up. I was like, all right, cool.
it has the right amount of patina, but I think actually Josh Stowell
So yeah.
built that car originally.
Oh yeah, it is
sold
Styles'
Yep.
car, huh?
Yep, I believe so. I'm sure Joe did a couple things to
Yeah.
it, but yeah.
Fix some things.
Pretty
What was
sweet
it called
car,
again?
photos.
What?
What was the car called again?
I think it's a Malibu.
Malibu wagon. I was
Malibu
not sure.
wagon.
It would have
Right,
been
a
like right in
Capri.
the same wheelhouse of what you're thinking, but Chevy. So
Right,
it was like
yeah.
an '80s wagon. It would have been just
Yeah,
like a Fairmont almost.
I don't know. I said I want to pull my phone out.
Yeah, just gotta fact check it real quick.
Yeah.
I said, but Junior just posted it up because he's like, he literally just He's like, oh, I just got, because you got to be happy with the stuff that
Yeah,
you
of
buy.
course. Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to. I'm like, man, if I ever get on the financial up and up, like have money to throw around, I'm gonna do the
It's a Malibu.
stupidest things. It wasn't Malibu.
That's what he's
But dude, like I might even like Daza swap the Golf or something. Like who knows?
Yeah.
Like,
Something
it doesn't
stupid.
look like anything,
It looks sick
but it's
though.
LS.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's got
sweet.
some
Yeah.
power. Like, it's sweet.
Does it make good power?
Yeah. Probably
I
makes
think it makes like 400 or something like that. Maybe
400 's
maybe
fine.
400.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's where
Especially
I'm at.
when
with
that
my
car
cars.
originally probably had 116.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does sweet burnouts.
Dual carbureted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right.
Like just struggling to start. That's a good thing about like the new stuff, that the technology of changing. Because like even if you had a carbureted car, they're doing the whole EFI stuff where you're able to slap the
Yeah.
carburetor on stop, and literally it makes it just nice fuel injected carburetor instead of the old. It'll take you 20 seconds to.
No, I think when I very first saw the whatever the Phytech or whatever
Yeah,
was one of the
Phytech.
first ones.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, man, that is ingenious. Even though Chevy was putting stuff like they had that whole spider throttle body injection thing they used to have on their cars.
one on the TPI motor.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
were
what it was, a
horrible.
305 or something.
They never worked right.
No.
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 But hey, technology comes along,
Mm-hmm.
You guys have any like specific like cars that you guys like fabrication that you guys have seen like uniquely wise that you guys like you've seen on a certain car that you like a JZ, RB, any specific vehicles you like?
No,
the
I was
fabrication
thinking, I don't know when you bought your Fairmont, but I had a friend of mine, he had a shop down, it used to be Midwest Fox Rods. He like did only Fox body stuff. And
Okay.
now he owns Body Crafters. He bought into like an actual like running body shop. Now they do insurance work and he does a little bit of fab stuff on the side. But he had this black Fairmont, I think it was a 2-door, but his paint work, like this guy does, is gorgeous stuff. It was black. He had like a caramel leather interior in it that he did all custom.
Okay.
It was the Coyote was in it. I think the twin turbos were in there too. It was all fabbed up, but he hadn't done like the fuel and wiring. And when I saw it, this was probably 5-6 years ago. He had it like $12,000. He was asking for the whole thing. And I'm like,
Really?
dude, that's a freaking killer deal.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
I can't remember where it ended up going, but I think it ended up going up to about $20,000 before he finally sold it. But
Okay.
I mean that's probably easily worth in paint work.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
When I painted a 240 years ago, like 10 years ago, that was fucking $7-8 for a 9240. You can only imagine some classic,
Yeah.
Like it adds up fast, and it's only specific people like to touch certain cars too. Like I know when it comes to like classics and stuff, like I would only bring it to certain areas, so I guarantee you the payment there is even higher.
Oh, yeah.
Than a regular Mako paint shop. Like no offense to bring it to Mako, but you know what I'm saying. It's like
It's hard to get. That's why I thought it was, like I said, I wanted to talk to you about shaving that engine bay, because you can't. My only other option I thought was to like go to a body guy, but they don't want to do that onesie twosie stuff. They don't do that. They want to kick out as many Ford Escapes as they can that have a cracked bumper or hit a deer or ran into something else, and then because they're getting that insurance check.
oh yeah, I have a buddy.
That's where the money is too.
Yeah.
You have a buddy who does like quick fender paint jobs for like, I don't know, cost him like $250 in material or whatever, and they got a $2,500 check from insurance to fix it, and the rest of his profit.
Yep.
I'm like, look, cost him 4 hours of work, and boom, done. I'm like, man, I'm in the wrong business or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, no, it's the other thing. Like, if you want that shaved bay, like I said, hit me up. Like I said, I'll
Absolutely.
have the time. Like right now at my shop, I have a 20B RX-7, so it's a 3-rotor RX-7 that I'm building a turbo kit for it. Still trying to figure out to finish the wastegate situation. He knows about it. I've been trying to figure out how many wastegates to put on it, because it's a 3-rotor, but it's probably running 90 mil turbo. It's ginormous. Like it's literally
Jesus.
bigger than the freaking motor.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Like,
those
you've
rotaries
seen
are
it.
tiny.
It's a T5 flange. Like most turbos are T4s.
Yep.
And T5, T6 is like, it's, dude, I'm telling you, the flange is like that huge.
It's like a basketball under there.
Yeah, and, and just like, so like people bring me custom stuff all the time. Like that's probably one of the coolest things that I've built. And
I was just gonna ask you, what have you had some really cool shit roll
Yeah.
through so far?
Yeah, the 20B RX-7 Rocket Bunny as well. So it's full Rocket Bunny kit.
Okay.
It's part show. It's also a DCT transmission. That's really cool. So it's got an auto BMW transmission. So it'll be probably close to as quick as Gus's car, like that type of transmission. And then I've built multiple RB and JZ manifolds, because that's kind of like my niche, has been kind of doing that stuff. I got the opportunity to build an S2000 with Larkin at MAP. That was one car that we did get to finish there together. It was a S2000 with a K24. And then I was able to build a full turbo kit for that, intercooler charging pipe. And that was really cool for like a stock K24. It made like 480 on like 15 pounds of boost on a 6.262, and I think
Was that the one YouTuber guy's car?
yeah,
Or-
Alex Martinez. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Alex from Wisconsin. Yeah.
So he used to work for EE, and then that whole thing happened with their letting people go as well. And I think we were building that car when he was getting like pushed out, and then at the end of it, they didn't pretty much want any media stuff that we did to link with that. But
I hooked up with him on their second rally. So he is partnered with, or him and another girl, Gretchen, started River Valley Road Rally.
Yep.
Over there. I did their second rally ever, and that's where I got to meet all of those guys. So I've been watching Alex kind of grow and do all this stuff. But I remember made friends with a lot of those guys, and a lot of them went to Fitment over there, and none of them, like they
Weren't there
all,
anymore.
it was like maybe a year, and they were like, fuck this.
well, I think they were putting a lot of time into the media, but I don't think it was the right media that they wanted to. It was, I guess, they were letting them do it, and nothing against there. It was just, I think they was too goofy. I guess they wanted to be more of a professional straight line, and they were kind of, no offense, kicking those guys out, and I don't think it was fair because I like their media over what they have now. I'm not trying to talk down. I just feel like it attracts the people to be more, I guess, focused to it, because somebody that's talking that actually kind of knows car, where now it's like, come buy our wheels and it kind of feels more, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels more formal. They want it to be like straight wheels, nothing, no jokesters, no nothing. And I feel like that's
feels really corporate.
Yeah, I feel like that makes the character of the company.
Yeah, no,
is
you
being-
want it to
having
be
normal
more
people.
natural, right.
Yeah, and that's where they were slowly kicking them all out, because when they actually came to us and did a car interview, my 240 was on there. It was a couple other people that ended up taking over Alex's job, and then eventually those guys got kicked out too. And they're all the same way as Alex, just really good entrepreneurs that do their own thing. They have good egos and good character, I guess they are. And then just the business had a completely different visual on what they wanted in the future. And then so
That's a huge thing, though, too. I'm finally done dying over here from choking on the water. Dude, went down the wrong pipe. I was like,
I choked on mine in the beginning. I was like,
yeah, mine was worse. Like, yeah, wrong pipe doesn't end well. But no, there's something to be said about that too, though. It's like the fit. Like, people have to fit together. Like, you have to be on the same mission as the company. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work out. Like, you could try and try and try, but somebody's gonna be unhappy. You're gonna get shit canned because they don't like you the way you operate. Or you're going to try to fit their mold, and you're just going to be depressed out of your mind working for somebody that doesn't like you for you.
yeah, that's how it is. Like, some places are like that. They feel like it feels like a cult instead of like an actual building, and that's why me and Matt always got along with Max. Like, me, him, and Max every morning would damn near have like a quick half-hour conversation, make chit-chat with each other, kind of like brothers.
Yeah, on the boss's dime. I see how it is.
Yeah.
He said quick half hour.
Yeah.
I got a long one.
What's a fast half?
Believe me, like that. For some days it'd be like, oh god, we gotta get back to work, and like, but we were able to, keep up with one another, check on any problems and issues, and like I said, all the people that I work with at MAP, I probably felt like they were family to me over anything. So like losing that, I lost. Like I felt like I said, I felt like
A lot of people are hurt by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it hurt a lot of us. Like from the first cuts, because like I said, it's more than just even the fabricators. We had other friends that were sales that they were slowly plucking and doing all that, and there were friends that worked there, and it sucked. But like at the end of the day, it's whatever the business, like they're whatever they want for the company is that's kind of the decision, which sucked because like people that were very hardworking were definitely let go. People that I would have never let go, but money takes over anything,
Absolutely.
I'm curious, did anybody actually end up taking up the offer to like move or whatever? Some people did.
Two people did.
people did,
The sales, I'm not gonna say names, but sales or not. Well, no, all the sales
Shipping,
teams. Well, the
and
sales
then
guys still work
fab
for them.
manager.
I know the sales still works for them,
Oh, yeah,
like on
remote.
phone, remote, and then shipping, and then I think one of our old managers for fabrication, his name is Michael. Nobody really knows him, but he went over there. But apparently, it's really cheap to live there in Appleton. So
It's actually a nice little town over there.
I just don't. I
That's
mean,
what I've heard as well. Yeah.
like I think it would have been more of like if I didn't. I have a kid. I had all my cars, all that shit. It's hard to just move all that stuff there. Where I think if it was like I didn't have anything, maybe, and I got a good opportunity or good pay, maybe
It's easy for a guy like me who's like single, has really nothing like holding me over here. But for
you got us, bro. You can't leave.
yeah.
They're very corporate though too. So I can
you don't
imagine
know.
that's all
Yeah.
gonna get CAD over to China and all that stuff. They're just gonna get. I don't think you would have been happy over there.
No. Like I said, that I think it changed to a completely different vibe. Like I think it was just they wanted to change everything to either being already pre-made somewhere, and then or that's what they even. I mean, it sucked because the last couple of months I was actually still working for MAP, doing like a couple, like I would say 1099 myself and
Contract stuff.
contracting stuff, and there was people coming in that were hired at Appleton, and they were training them in because they were going to take over their jobs.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
Like
training
it was a hurtful thing to watch because like,
Yeah.
me and Matt have been there since for 8 years. Me and him have developed a lot at MAP. Like besides just the fabrication, eventually we started creating like photos instructions. So like the certain like we first started working at MAP, we didn't have any instructions. It was literally, here's your jig. You got to build this in 2 hours.
Good luck.
Good luck. And it was like, you're like sweating, figuring out. There was days that I was getting in trouble because I wasn't hitting time. And eventually I was like, it's hard for us to continuously hit times when you forget. Like if you do this one downpipe every 2 months, you'll forget how to build it. Whereas like when you completely repetitiveness did the things, it was like, you just kind of remember. It was like the back of the hand. That's why I said when me and Matt were doing manifolds, it was like the back of the hand because that's all we did. And then I was eventually developing where only certain people did like Subarus, other people did Hondas, other people did Ford stuff. Like there's a few different genres, but you give them to certain people, they just get really good at it. Then you don't switch them from going from a Mitsubishi downpipe to a Subaru downpipe, because like that would like confuse you because you're like, oh, it's supposed to be this much measurement. Oh wait, it's not. And then you're like,
There's a learning curve.
Yeah,
right? It's
and then
not,
if you
it's slow going at that point.
But then we would also only bend a certain amount of bends. So it's like if I gave you 10 bends and you fuck one up, like I can't just bend you another one. The other person's on the program right now, he's on 2.5, not on 3-inch anymore. So like that's why eventually we're like, okay, we got to stop fucking this up. Like just make instructions, write everything down. Originally Max started doing it, and then he got too much into R&D. I took over and did like a few of them, and then eventually I handed over to Matt because I was starting to do all the computer
stuff
work for
and
like
paperwork
dispatching.
and stuff
So
like that.
I was the one, like I said, I'd give these people all Subaru, all Honda, and then he took over taking all the instructions where you take photos, write things down, how to do it, next step, this pipe welded to this pipe, and it just became very easy to just hand off. Even a job that someone hadn't done, you could get it done, and you would actually be very close to hitting the time doing it that way compared to me having to come and train you and you try to remember it every fucking time. Because it was hard, because there'd be days like, oh man, I forgot how to do it. I'm like, I'd have to talk to Matt. Hey Matt, do you remember how to do these? Like, he'd be like, oh man, it's been like 2 years since we did that. I'm like, fuck. And that's why like doing it in instructions, I think is what probably helped them. And that's what we were trying to start to do, that production stuff that I was telling you about.
Yep.
Eventually it was like, hey, let's gather 4 people on an afternoon shift and see how many we can get done. They did like 100 downpipes in like 2 weeks one time. It was like something ridiculous.
That for Black Friday.
Yeah, it was like 80
Yeah.
downpipes.
Yeah, that was wild. And then I ended up training people in and stuff like that after Jose moved more into a manager position. And I also helped Max with R&D stuff. And were you there that day when they let 13 or 14 people go? Yeah, one day half of Fab just disappeared because they got let go. A bunch of shipping people, a bunch of salespeople. I think some engine people.
Dude,
and
it's a
stuff like
weird
that.
feeling like when
It
you
was-
see people leave like that.
Well, yeah, and then Max was one of them. And 13 people just gone. The next day, it was weird, and then
It's a weird energy it leaves behind.
it wasn't the same since then. And then I was actually looking at maybe getting a different job or something like that. I did look into the whole pipe fitting thing, and then Max got let go, so I moved into R&D. I took his position, which was cool, but unfortunate. Max was probably my best friend there.
Right.
And then it just wasn't the same ever since. It was really weird at the end there. And then I stayed until the very end, which I think my very last day was January 29th or something.
Yeah. So I think I might have even met you like when I was over there with Kyle then.
Yeah.
When I popped through that one time. Once or twice, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
When I got a little tour of map before like he was leaving, but
Before it was shut down.
yeah. But no, dude, like the dude I was playing. So when I was on my way out at this logistics company, when I was just like fuck this place, I'm gonna do some job hunting. Like I survived like the round of layoffs, but it's like the dude I played ping pong with every day, like 'cause we had a ping pong table over there.
Yeah.
Like just one day gone.
Yeah.
It's a weird energy it leaves behind.
That's, I'm not going to like put myself in like a higher aura or anything like that, but like I'm
Aura.
really good. Like how I would say I'm friendly with everybody. So like
Right.
I come every day. Like I said, we talk every morning, and then like after those people getting let go, it was like just felt wrong. And then when I got let go, people would call me like, dude, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like I saw you every day for the last. And then, like I message him all the time, like, dude, miss you, bro. Like it's just because like
Yeah.
it's like family, bro. Like
Especially
every
after
single-
8 years.
Yeah,
right?
every day.
7.5, 8 years. Yeah. And
Me
then
and
one
Matt-
day just.
Me and Matt's thing is we see each other, we flick each other out.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, like that was our thing. Like, every morning, come in, he'd be in his truck smoking his cigarette, come around the corner, roll my window down, look him off, like good morning, like
Well, they say that you spend more time with the people that you work with than you even do your family.
Yeah,
That's 100% true.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we
Especially
got
on the
really close.
weekends, you know, we'd be there after hours. We got, you know, we could use all the lifts and the equipment and stuff like that. So, you know, we were able to build our own stuff, which is pretty cool. And yeah,
But this is kind of like the next chapter of your guys' lives, right? Like, you know, you're over here doing your own thing, and, you know, like, you know, I guess in an entrepreneurial way. That was a big word. I really
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
you see
saying.
my brain
Man.
load?
You nailed it, though. You got it.
I have to give myself a little pat on the back. I'm gonna be like 50, still trying out new words. It's gonna be awesome. But but no, it's cool to see, like, you know, you're kind of on the up and up, like doing your own thing, and like that's the thing. You've been doing this part like 5-6 months, whatever. You know, the struggle does start to get a little better, especially like. I don't know. I mean, a handful of times people have come on this podcast, be like, "Dude, I just got 3 engine builds." It's like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't realize that I have that kind of impact. But it's like, it's exciting to see people grow in this community, because like when people put that effort in, it's so. It takes, like, you could have just found another job, right? Like, and same thing with you. Like, you could have taken that, you know, some, you know, what'd you say, working a
soulless job.
Yeah.
like, I can't remember what the exact term was, but it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see. Like, this is kind of like that next chapter. It's super exciting to see, especially like when you have people that want to invest in you. Like JWP is investing in you. You got Dave over there.
Yep.
It's kind of wild.
No, it's a good feeling to feel like
Valued.
That's the biggest thing, is like that's what I think I struggled with for the last few months myself. Like, it's just like, not that I didn't feel wanted. It's just it was different when you're working for a company that every day I was like, dude, you're doing a great job. Like, that's how we always patted each other, and it went from like that to just dead silence. And then it's kind of like that thing where it's like you share a post that you got a job, everyone cares about it, but then you share, I did an entrepreneur, like no one gives a fuck, and that's how it felt, like, honestly. But the good thing is I have great friends that back me up. They're like, dude, you do a great job, keep pushing, and that's what kept me going. And like, honestly, having good friends is what helps a lot with that stuff, because like I get on my downfall where I'm like, I don't think I'm doing good enough, and me and Matt both know our work kills 90% of what Minnesota has to offer. Not trying to. But it's just because we did it for 8 years straight.
Right,
It's
that's
not
just
to
part
be
of the game.
big, not to be big-headed. It's just, it became our second nature. We could walk in and do whatever at any time. That's why Dave took him. I've talked to Dave about doing stuff before too, because he knows what me and his value are worth.
You guys got that street cred.
Yeah, and I mean, he's done multiple cars. I've done multiple different vehicles. Like, people that maybe you guys don't know, but now they're happy customers that are on the road right now, making 500 to 800, 900 horsepower. You know, happy with good quality and visual works. Like I said, MIG welding is one thing, like he talked about. You can get it done, it will work, but it's not aesthetically pleasing where it's like, damn, that person fucking took time to make that look good. It's like, yeah, because it's like, it's a reflect. It's kind of like a chef, you know, like that's how fabrication is. It's literally you prepping all the stuff for the food, then cooking it and see what the outcome is, what the flavor is at the end of it. It's like, that's how it is, like fabrication.
The flavor is.
Yeah, no, literally, like, let's just see what it, you know, you get what I'm saying, is like,
Yep.
let's see how it comes out. Just because you know, and you're like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, they can tack stuff really well, and then boom, like the end of it, it's just horrific. Like, I've seen some welds that tacks look great, everything, fitment looks perfect. It's like, you just need a little bit more time, like, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit more time, time to get it to look a little better.
There's not anything really wrong with, you know, I even do this because what I do, I'm super freaking good at, right? So, but you almost gotta have that level of, I don't even want to call it cockiness. I call it tooting my own horn, whatever, you know, I'm old. But like, if you don't have that confidence, or like, you know, in what you're doing, and when you step back and go like, fuck yeah, that if you don't have that, then you're not as good as you probably aren't. I don't know where I'm going with that, but anyway, you got to have, like,
I understand.
I know what
I
you're
get
saying
it.
when you're, because I don't like to talk that way about myself either. You know, I'm like, you know, it feels weird, right? But when you're really good at something and you can be like, fuck yeah, then it just kind of, I'm really struggling here.
No,
I'm not gonna help you either.
Yeah.
You can ask anyone that has gotten work from me and Matt that they're going to be happy with the work.
You
that we've
basically
done.
need that to be successful, almost.
Like, no one I think has ever
Yeah.
down talk on any of our work ever. I think I get shout outs all the time to be the person to do certain fabrication work on people.
That's a huge thing. When people tag you in the comment section, that is such a huge thing. Or share your work.
And even though I can't do it, it's a good feeling to know that there's people thinking about you. And that's what I think I love the most about fabrication. And like, even Matt, I've tagged Matt when I can't do something. Hey Matt, do you have time? He's like, no, you got time. Like, it's like we try to help each other out too. Mm-hmm. And even like material, I needed material for that Civic. I couldn't find it locally. I'm like, Matt, do you have anything? He's like, yeah, I do. And like, you know, anytime he needs a heat sink or anything, like, do we help each other out? Because at the end of the day, if the community doesn't help one another out, then we're all going to struggle.
Yeah.
Like that's why I think me and Matt became super close. That's why I asked him for me to bring him on the podcast.
I'm glad this worked out, by the
Thank you
way.
for that, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he asked me, and I was like, the only person that I could think of is I would bring Max, but I think he's a little bit more busy than us.
Yeah, 2 kids
And-
house and.
But even
yeah.
then, if you ever want to have a version 2 of this, like bring Max, I could probably bring 2 other people. If could get 2 more couches here, but you know.
Yeah, in this little closet ain't
yeah.
gonna fit.
But yeah, like I said, we have plenty of people that
It's a relationship game.
Yeah, it's like I said, we all are very happy with one another's work, and like I said, we help each other in any which way that we can, and I think that's what I think keeps us going as well, is having, like I said, good friends / family. I call them family. These are my brothers. I don't care
Yeah.
what anyone says. They're my brothers.
Okay,
so.
Vin Diesel, calm down.
family.
But seriously,
Perfectly timed.
yeah.
It's family.
We should count how many times he freaking says that in any one of the movies. I'm going through the whole series with my
You
kids
just
right now, so we just
take a
watch.
shot every
Yeah.
time it's his family.
Yeah.
Dad, you're wasted. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that, you know, like literally, like we were hanging out at JWP's on Saturday. I was like, "You want to come on the podcast?" I haven't had a Fab Guy yet, or whatever. And like I've seen, like I kind of met you like once or twice at Dave's, and I was like, "All right, at some point I'll pop the question." It's just trying to get to know that, dude. There's so many people like Dan and I have met through this community that like it's impossible to know everyone, but like people come out of the woodwork just commenting like, "Oh, you should have this guy on," and like 6 people will like it. I'm like, "All right, this is somebody we should definitely get on."
Yeah.
No, yeah,
So,
that's even half the people that you had. I know Joe. I know half of those people. I know some of the ratified people. I know like a lot of the
Yeah.
people that you have on there. I know a lot. So it's like I've been in the scene since I was 15, 16 years old. I'm 33. Like I said, I've been street racing.
an old
since
head.
I'm old as shit, bro. I sat behind Jesus in 3rd grade.
Wait till we get John on here talking about Strictly.
Yeah, oh Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's just the community is just like it's awesome. Like I said, I've been doing it for so long that I've known so many people in different ways: street
Yeah.
racing, drag racing, drifting, circuit. Like I'm gonna say I'm kind of like not gonna call it like the slut of the community because I just I know everyone, but like
Yeah.
saying some people like Matt probably knows more drag guys, like not like that, like drag racers, than over
all right, come on,
Let's
man.
put that in there. Yeah. Drag race.
like drag racers.
All right, somebody saw the Diddy house bust.
I don't want anyone to say something wrong, but
No
like,
Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy.
Dude, nobody was assuming it the way you presented it.
On this program, especially like an automotive podcast, like I think you were probably safe. But
yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some people,
I get it
some
now.
people
Thanks
know
for
drag
elaborating.
racers, and some people know circuit racers, and that's it. Like, a lot of people don't know drifters. Don't know anybody outside
Yeah.
the drift world. That's literally it. So
I heard that's a rowdy bunch. Yeah.
yeah, it's
I'd say
It's
so.
rowdy, but every little community has a little bit of toxicness.
Yeah,
I guess we'll say
absolutely.
it that way. I mean, it's just the way
Rowdy,
it goes.
fun,
Just
whatever you
gotta
want to
stay
call it,
away.
right?
Stay away from those people.
So here's a question I have for you guys, because both of you guys could probably like build a project car from the ground up. Is that a fair assumption? To a
Yeah.
degree.
A couple of them, yeah.
Yeah. So like from the ground up, right? So what are your thoughts on the whole built not bought thing, right? Because I've been arguing with comment sections like for the last like week and a half. Like people have been getting under my skin, and here's why, right? Because for Michael Morgan's like truck, which you guys have seen, right? That Patience did. It's like some guys are like, oh, well, you shouldn't have taken it to that other shop that ruined it. You could have just built it yourself. And the number one thing I've been commenting to people is like, well, are you trying to tell me you don't support shops here? Because that
Right.
dude, let's say Dan's making $1,000 an hour doing this other job. It's like,
I wish.
yeah, imagine.
Are
Yeah.
you hiring? Like,
Yeah. But okay, whatever. Let's say you're making $200 an hour. Somewhat more realistic. It's like, would you rather spend that time building a car? I get it's your passion, whatever, an hour a week. Or would you rather keep making the money you're making and pay somebody else to knock it out for you? I'm going to take a second to support the home team. Many of you know the podcast is based out of Ratified Motorsports, who makes some of the sickest builds out here. That dyno you all hear downstairs has seen some serious cars. Whether you're looking for a standard tune for your cute little Volkswagen to a full-on Supra or RS3 build, you should give Ratified a call to get the sauce. Check out ratifiedmotorsport.com/performance to see what they can do for you. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah, no, I would rather pay somebody else.
Yeah,
I still
exactly.
feel like building though is like you'd be like, I'm gonna take you're your own contractor. I'm gonna take it to this guy to do this. I think the people that just drop their keys off, like, I don't know. It's still, I guess you're right.
It's
the
tough,
same
right?
thing, right? Yeah, because you could come one stop shop here.
Yeah.
Still too. I could just give my keys to Rat and be like, I need this to be fucking cool, and then you could walk away and come back and pick it up in a week.
It's not black
So-
and white is what I'm trying to get
Yeah.
at here, right? It's like, yeah, like, and I got into a fight with another guy. I'm like, This is not your piece of shit 370Z where you're putting on some rivet fenders and stuff and saying it's built because you put in fucking coilovers. It's like this is this is $100,000 build. This is a 6-figure build. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you want people to build their own shit? Should they go to shops?
Well, bring your car to DRSC. We'll do everything.
That's the plug
to
I was
it.
looking for.
Yep, bring DRSC, everything from general maintenance to full custom builds. But honestly, like, you got people that can build cars and you got people that can drive them. Like, there's some people that build cars that don't even have their own project car, and there's no problem with either way. Like, I like building my own stuff, or for the most part, I like it. I did spend a lot of time away from the girlfriend last year building my current car, and I kind of felt bad for it, but it had to get done. But it's done now. So honestly, like, if you have the money, like, there's nothing wrong with having someone else build your car. Just don't be a dickhead with it, you know?
No. And we all know the
my
cheapest way
car's-
to go is to buy a car already built.
Exactly. You'll
So
save
what do you put that
thousands of
category
dollars.
in?
Like,
Yeah.
just don't, my car's better than yours. Well, you didn't build it. So, yeah, that shop that builds $100,000 cars is going to be better than mine that I built in my garage, right? So, yeah, there's no issue with it.
How about you? What are you saying? You've been saying controversial stuff all the time.
Yeah, I'm back and forth. And shout out to JWP as well, because they've been helping with a lot of stuff. You send your car there if you need anything customized or modified. So don't be afraid to holler at them. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I feel like if I wanted to build something ground up, I would probably, if I would send it to a company, it'd be like for things that I can't do. Or like a cage if I wanted to do.
It's like half the stuff you can.
Half the stuff. That's me, because I don't know. The way that I look at it, some people can build stuff better than I can, like that stuff. And then I feel like the last little thing is the things that I want to finish, like the engine work, the fuel system, stuff like. Because sometimes people don't do things the way you want them, and those are the things that unless you tell them directly that's the way you want it, they're gonna do it their way. And sometimes it isn't the way that you want it. And like I don't know, that's where I would probably cut it off. Where I'd probably send my chassis, get it roll cage or whatever, painted, and then from back I'd install the engine, finish the fab work and stuff like that. That's just me, because I want to finish the heart project of it. The rest of it, probably
you want to feel like you contributed something.
Yeah.
But I do agree, if I was just a straight driver, then yeah, I mean, that's probably, if I didn't know how to do anything at all, then yeah, I would probably send it to be completely fully built. And that's if I had the money to do so and I was just a driver, that's probably what I would do. But being a half builder myself, then I would just try to attack whatever I can if I have the time. Honestly, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it turns into a 6-year project and it sits on jack stands.
Yeah, no, if it's a 6-year project, then yeah, I'm going to pay somebody else. But I mean, how long is a 6-year project going to cost?
Right,
That's
exactly.
the thing too. Is like, how much money do you invest in that? Like, that's where I look at it. Is like, you could spend $100,000 on someone. Like, I know Michael Morgan's truck is expensive.
I think he said on the podcast how much he spent. It was a lot.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I'm not saying I could do it for cheaper, but like, I don't know if I would have spent that much. But it's all, I guess, on
it all adds up
how
over
big your
time.
checkbook is.
Yeah, your parts could go up. Look at over the last 6 years, some parts have doubled. Like you were talking about 2 JZs and stuff. You
Even
know,
LSs,
that's the thing. You
Yep.
sit on that project. You think it's expensive to build now. 5 years from now, it's gonna be even more
Even
expensive
more,
to
yeah.
build.
Yeah, like I said, I worked for a company where they were bringing $200,000 to $300,000 builds. They're money that you never would see in your life, And like, that's just the way they build them, and people have the money for that. Like, awesome, make 2,500, 3,000 horsepower. Like,
Well, some things are also like turnkey, right? Like, like we talked with Jeff Storms last episode too. It's like, who's gonna take the liability? Like, if I build something myself, which if I build it, it's fucked. Let's just put it that way. Like, if something blows up, that's completely on me. But if I, have come over here to RAFI, not saying that something would go wrong, but at least there's somebody there that, can attest to the work that's done. Right. Whereas me, YouTube University ain't gonna end well. So, but yeah, so the way you kind of put it, there's kind of 3 categories then. Sign the check, have a completely done build, beginning to end. So, your Barrett Jackson cars, stuff like that, Mecum, whatever. Then you kind of have the half and half, which is what you would do. So it's like, oh, I could do all the fab work, but I'll have somebody else do whatever.
Well, the problem is, like, I have the cage work is because if that stuff needs to be certified to a certain point. If I don't have the actual rules and stuff, I'd rather just have somebody that knows exactly what's going to go on, tuck the cage, do everything I need, instead of me guessing how to bend the cage or whatever and have it be 2 inches away from A pillar, B pillar. Because that's the issue that I see people run into. They want to do their own cage. They don't make it tucked enough. Next thing you know, you're hitting your head left to right because you decided to do it yourself. Yes, you saved money, but now you're banging your head consistently.
Yeah, and cages
The best
can also
cages
hurt you.
are the ones you don't see.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's the
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. Like nowadays, we were saying things are easier. Like the roll cage kits, they can get it's called cage kits. This dude named Chair Slayer. He's a guy that was he's in a motocross, got in an accident, and he's now handicapped down. So he created his own system of handheld like driving. You know, like for he does like a handheld with clutch, everything. His name's Chair Slayer because he's on a wheelchair, and he actually kills it, shreds like 1,000 horsepower LSA setup in like a 180. But he started 3D scanning chassis and creating like cages. So literally he scans the whole chassis and then he'll bend you a tube, like a whole cage with all the markings exactly where it goes, and it is the tightest fitting cages you could ever get. Literally, so you can barely tell they're in your car. And it's like, instead of having to spend, you know, no offense to patients, like you could bring it there, but you're going to spend $5,000 to $10,000, or now you can buy this cage for $1,500. You can either do it yourself or have your buddy who can weld it. It's a lot cheaper. So that's where if I want to do a cage, I could do it that way as well. But if I had the money to pay someone to do it a specific way, then I would probably send it to somebody to do it too.
Right. Yeah, and I'm currently in talks with the guys at Patience, so we might have one or two of those guys on here in the next few weeks.
Max will be. That's for Max. He works
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm talking to Art, and I still haven't got back to his text. I feel bad, but it's like...
I know Art as well. Known him for 10 years at least.
Yeah, because he was I think I met him when he was at Grimspeed. Yeah. Yep, and then then they left Minnesota too, right? Didn't
Same
they?
thing. They didn't leave. They got bought out.
Another
and-
company that got swallowed up
Yeah, yep.
by a bigger one. So
Yeah, Minnesota is losing a lot of good shops. That's for sure.
Dude, I'm telling you, a lot of things just kind of fell apart, like as COVID kind of was like coming in.
yeah,
It was hard because those 2 years were the most money that the company actually made. That was the reason why I think we were sold, because the year of 2020, everyone got free checks, and dude, the amount of money that we were busy as fuck.
Yeah.
And then the year after that, it was like, all right, are we selling? Or like Black Friday was like a lot less than we've ever done. I'm like, all right. And then
Once
next
those
year,
Excel
the same.
sheets look good enough too, and
Well, that's what it does. It makes you look appetizing to another buyer, right?
Well, another thing
When
that
it's-
companies will do just before they go like public, for example, is they'll axe a shit ton of employees too, because it affects the ratios on the sheet or whatever on your Robinhood account.
Well, we had a feeling things were going bad because I was luckily on this thing called Slack, like a bunch of so they had like their own channel and we had our own channel. We combined them together when Map combined, and they had like 500 plus people. You could see it, and not even like 2 months later, it went from
how many
500 to
employees?
like 300. I'm like,
yep.
and
Oh,
from there,
see the number ticking down.
I was like,
That's crazy.
when you could see it, like, because you could see how many people were in a chat or like in a group, because like how many people they had. They had 500 plus employees, because that's how
wow.
busy they're. I mean, they were $1 billion company, not $1 million company. At least for some reason they could sell enough wheels and make good enough money, which is awesome. But like that's how many people they had, and chopped it literally almost in half. And that's why I was like, all right, I'm kind of starting to get a little worried. And then so, all right, soon after that, they started getting into fab, cutting other people, and I'm like, man, here we are. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna work out for you fellas. I don't know. I could see
So
the future.
far, so good, man.
Yeah.
So
It's like I told him, like, it sucks what happened, but I think this is both, like, not to say it in a wrong or right way, but it's kind of a chapter that maybe we both needed, you know, because we were so comfortable being there.
blessing in disguise,
Yeah.
I'd say
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So if you guys were going to give, let me restart that question a little bit of a. Getting a little tired here. I'm honestly thinking about what I'm gonna eat after this. That's, well, I'm about asking Dan. I'm like, should we go? I don't know. Do you want to get food after this?
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah,
done.
well, yeah, exactly. See, like, I've been wanting to ask him for 30 minutes. I'm like, I don't know. I think the taco
Text
place.
them.
Well, because like, okay, and the reason it's in the back of my head, right? I'm not some selfish prick, right? Is because, well, maybe I am, but it's like, so we start a little bit later than we usually do, right? Because sometimes we'll start like right around 5, so it's like, well, we come in just in time to bother the taco shop up the street here. So I'm just sitting here thinking, like, all right, so what are we gonna do? Okay, anyways, back to my actual question. The whole reason why I stuttered. If you guys were to talk to somebody that's like, 17, 18 years old, right? Because a lot of people are getting this whole college thing pushed on them. Like, oh, you guys got to go be a fucking marketing major, which, by the way, I might end up doing marketing for a company. No marketing major. Because it's easy as shit. Like, what advice would you give to somebody that's trying to figure out, like, how they want to get into cars? I guess we'll start with either one of you. Who wants to go first?
Well, what do you mean getting into cars? Like,
Well, if they wanted to do, like,
mechanic
if they wanted to
or
do, like, fab stuff.
Into the industry.
So I'd say I got lucky getting into MAP, and that's what got my foot into the door for being a fabricator for a career. But school wasn't a bad idea, honestly, for welding.
Because you went to
itself.
DCTC, was it right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Yup, it was, I think I paid $11,000 for a 9-month program or something. I did,
It's not bad.
yeah, MIG, TIG, stick, spray arc. So I did all different types of welding. And I don't know, yeah, I don't really know what to say about
That's
that.
a very. I mean, it's a
got
desirable field right now too. I think.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess just really think what you
I
want
kind
to
of
do
think
before
tech
you pull the
schools were
trigger.
like a thing that people were. There was a point there where like, nah, this just seems like an out or whatever. But I think we should be pushing way more people that direction, man. It's gonna get to a
Yeah.
point where we're not gonna have anybody like that.
Yep.
I'm in the trades right now, and it's like it's rough out there.
It's like that meme that I read a while ago. It's like we need more electricians. Everyone needs to stop being a rapper.
Yeah,
It's
right,
like,
yeah.
literally, like, stop.
Well, it's kind of like I feel guilty about doing this too. It's like maybe I should go learn something that's gonna be useful instead of
Yeah,
fucking
stop waiting for
podcast.
another GameStop bubble. You're not gonna get there. Come on now.
Me, I would say, if you have the drive and you're not afraid of, I guess, going into a field that you're not comfortable with, try it. Like I said, because I was never used to trying fabrication at all until I literally just went to school, see if I was going to be good at it. Literally, the way that I realized that I was ready for it is that I went to school for Dunwoody. Our first test at Dunwoody is called acetylene torch welding, where you're like pretty much putting straight, like I don't know, like a torch, like fire, you know, like a straight acetylene torch, and then you're just melting rod. But the thing about it is that it pops back at you. So like if you get it too hot, it goes like literally, like, it's kind of like MIG weld, but it literally the bubble pops at you, so it kind of freaks you out. After a week, we had too many people in our class. It was like 35 people. We were probably supposed to have like 32, 33. After that first week of how many people got popped at and scared, it went down to like 17 people.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Because like it just shows you how many people were just afraid of it. And that's not even like MIG welding is way worse to me of like splatter than that. But that just shows you that people didn't even like the concentration, that it was hard for them to even. And that's like that's a very hard thing to learn with welding, but it's also like it teaches you hand coordination and a bunch of other miscellaneous things that people maybe just weren't patient.
Left
enough for
hand,
that.
right hand.
Either or.
Yeah.
Yeah, like either or.
Played plenty of video games when you were a kid.
Yeah. Like that stuff. And I guess, like I said, if you have the drive to go to that and then learn other things, because like MIG welding was a pain for me to learn because it was like so much splatter and everything burning me, annoyed me. But I was just like, I'm going to keep pushing so I can learn TIG, because TIG is what I really wanted to learn. And then eventually that last week when I was going to transition over to the second semester, they let us dibble and dabble into TIG. That's literally all I did was 1 week of TIG. And that's all I ever got to learn, train on. And then it was going on to the next semester. I wasn't allowed to go to the next semester because I couldn't afford it. You got to pay like half of whatever for Dunwoody to even. And I thought it was like a student loan thing that I would pay it at the end. But no, they want you to pay a certain amount before you can go to the next. So I stopped after the first semester. It was like 4 months of welding. And I did was just dibble and dabble at friends' houses. And somehow I got a job at MAP and became the shift leaders, trainer, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you guys both moved up there, right? So you kind of get into this entry level thing. So I guess that's another thing for people. If it looks like an industry you want to be in, go. Who cares if you're pushing a broom? Get in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, there's
you
people
know?
that wanted to just
Yeah.
be our cutters, our sanders. Like there were people that teach us how to weld. There's people that went to shipping just to like come on the weekends and we teach them how to weld, do little things like that. Like I said,
You have to put
I'm
the
not
effort
afraid-
in, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to teach anybody as long as you put the time and the effort to do so.
Respect my time, kind
Yeah.
of deal.
Yep.
And like I said, it was free gas. Like that was the positive about MAP. Like I said, they let us free gas, not free materials, but there was something like scrap that you could grab. But I think we could get it all at cost. Everything was right in the back. It was like a dream. It's like a grown man's playground. Is easy to say. It's like it was Toys R Us for adults. Is the easy way to say it. It's like anything that we needed was there.
Legos for adults.
No, literally Legos for
Well, like
adults.
adults still do Legos. I do Legos.
It's like I said, our toys never get bigger. Our toys get bigger, but we never get older. Is what you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. It's like what the fuck is the phrase? It's like
We don't.
You know what I'm talking
I'm not
about?
gonna
It's
try
like,
it.
you know what? No, it's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
it's like-
I'll butcher it. So.
yeah.
Somebody's
I'm
screaming
trying
at the
to
windshield
I'm
right
trying to
now.
think
Oh,
about
yeah.
it, yeah. But it's like, yeah. So like the older you get, you can get older, but your toys will just get bigger. That's literally what I say. The older you get, it doesn't matter how old you get, your toys just get bigger because we're still kids at
and
heart,
more
no matter what.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and more
Yeah.
expensive.
A lot more
Yeah.
expensive.
And like I said, it was the coolest thing to be in there because we could build anything, train anybody, teach anybody, and it felt great to just be there. And all the weekends we would just party, not like party, but like jam music, get stuff done. And then all right, see you tomorrow, and we'd be here tomorrow, the next day.
Yep.
We were there almost every single day, and that night would be there till 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it was just like it was a completely
Weekends
different vibe.
like 2 a.m, Friday night, Saturday night.
See
and
Brian
Sunday
May at
morning.
3 a.m. You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
Shot
Brian
Red
was
Bull
here
and
all
be
the
like,
time.
hey, what's up, guys?
Yep.
Like, God damn it, Brian.
Yeah.
Here's gonna be the coolest toy idea, dude. What if there was like, you know how we had like those like toy RC cars, like the battery powered ones and all that stuff? What if you had like, what if you could do like engine swaps? Like, if kids could like learn how, like, I mean, it wouldn't be like legit advanced or anything like that, but like, just be like, all right, here's the electric 2J or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's what we did when I was like in Votech. We did small engines, stuff like that. That's what slowly got me into it. Like, if you're not even in college, if you're still in school, you're watching this, like, get yourself into Votech, get yourself into any tech school. Like, that's what got me into it. I wasn't in there much, but just enough to like, spark my interest. But I've always been into cars, like I said, and I wanted to put those two together. I wanted to learn engines, but then I realized like working on cars is kind of like, it's my thing, but I didn't want it to kill my drive. Yeah. And that's when I learned that, fabrication is a huge part of like cars. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I can learn that. And come to find out, fabrication is a ginormous part of fabric, like for cars, because cage work, fixing like stuff that's breaking, broken studs, like things that you didn't expect that you would need welding for. It's there. Yeah. It helps you with a lot of
sometimes things. You're like, you know what I need? I need this and this, and I need a part that doesn't exist, and you need to freaking make it.
Yeah. We did that. What's it called? For the Camaro. It's like Dave needed a part that, like a spacer
for the throttle body. Yep.
Yeah, he just went ahead and made a spacer. He's like, and he kept saying like, this is the perks of having a fab shop right in the corner over there.
Yep. It's like that.
Super cool.
That R32 that I did the 1J. Like, he brought me a fat intercooler and then like a tucked radiator, so there was no room for it to fit an oil cooler in between it. So I just made him a bracket on the side. Then I made nut inserts, a bracket hold it, another end, and like just customize the whole bracket.
You had to get creative with it.
You can't even buy it, And then he came and looked at it. He's like, you made that? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I have to figure it out. He's like, it's like that artism I was telling you about. Yeah. Like, it just clicks in. You just figure it out. I don't know how to explain it, but once you could be watching us one day, you'd be like, it just clicks. I can't even explain it. Like, honestly, it's like, it's one of probably the best feelings where you're just like, oh, you figured it out. Like, somebody earlier was like, hey, what about doing this? Because I saw somebody adjusting a camber arm earlier today at JWP, and they were trying to line it up to the stock one. There was an aftermarket lower control arm. And I was like, oh, I want to make a jig that you could bolt it both on, right? And you lock it where the OEM one is, like lock the pins, so it stays there. You remove it, and the aftermarket one, you put it on, line it back up exactly where the holes are. Then you don't have to worry about measuring it. And it just looks at me. I was like, artism is literally what I said, because I was like, that quick 10 seconds is just how fast it clicked into my head. And he just like looked at me like.
Well, that's that production like jig fab work too that you did. That's that whole map stuff kicking in too.
Yeah, I did. That's the thing me and Matt did. We made a lot of jigs because we had to redo version 1, 2, Rev 3, Rev 4, 4.5, all this stuff. Like, it was. Yep. That's all me and Matt did. Or like, we had to chop something. Like, hey Matt, cut this, do whatever, and he'd be the one to do it. And we, like I said, it was handoffs to one another. That's why I said we became really good friends. It's because, I mean, don't get me wrong, we butt heads and stuff here and there every once in a while, but we just squashed it and figured it out and just realized that work is work and got to push that shit aside.
No, I've built a lot of shit in my garage just with a vise, a drill bit, and a bandsaw.
You get a lot of stuff done with just those things.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, I need a piece of angle iron. I'm gonna cut here, drill some holes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it became something that it was just an interest, and then now it's like, holy shit. Like I said, I look at my old welds and I'm like somebody, like I always say, I was like, somebody let me post this up, like how bad it looks. I was like, you let me post this up 8 years ago. Yeah. Now I'm like, but now you got to remember where you came from.
Right. Yeah.
That's the good thing about like becoming something that you wanted to always be. It's like I've always wanted to find a career that I could be happy with. And 10 plus years ago, I was definitely not doing as good as I was. I was a felon doing dumb shit. And now I have a career that I deal with and a great, I would say a really good life where I'm not afraid to attack any type of job, and makes a little money and it makes the customer happy. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's a revolving cycle. I feel happy about it and wake up every day and go on to the next day and do something else about it, do another job. So
I think we're gonna get a really interesting 3 today.
Yeah, you think so?
I think we also just crossed the 2-hour mark here, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Dude, no, you're good.
No,
you're good. You're cooking.
Big 3. I've been dreading this question.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming our new average. 3 hours. This is
I know. I keep telling, like, I was talking to Art. He's like, "What could he expect for like time wise or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, we usually average about an hour 30." I'm like, "We're on a nice long streak lately, though." Like the last one we did with Jeff Storms was 2 hours 40. Before that was Kyle. He was like 3:20. He set the record. Not too long ago we had Paul Rohde. He did 3:15. Yeah. It's like we don't try to do this. Like after Caleb, I'm like, all right, no more chasing records. Like that one we were chasing records because that dude's got stories. But other than that, I was like, yeah, let's put a cap on him.
People come into this nervous and they're like, man, I don't even know if I'm be able to talk for that long. But then you just start getting bullshit about cars and stuff. And it's
right.
Like,
it's like Brian. He's like, I'm nervous. I'm like, dude, you come in here. That dude, I've had some very deep conversations with Brian.
Yeah.
That's the person you should try to get on here.
Yeah.
He's got some stories, and that's one of the most knowledgeable human beings I probably know.
No, he's
Absolutely.
definitely in the pocket, I think, but he's right here, right? So we can grab him anytime.
Yeah.
So that's got to be like a desperate thing, right? When we're like, shit, nobody showed up, or
I'm
like that.
definitely grateful to have him as a resource because like one time we
Yeah.
finished a podcast with who was it? Was it I don't know, somebody. And like after we finished, like Dan left. He was long gone, and I ended up having a 45-minute conversation with Brian, just learning stuff. So yeah, definitely.
Just ask him one question and have a microphone with you. He won't even
Yeah.
know, and then you guys.
That's
will
one of the
just
best parts about having
turn
him
into a
do
podcast.
Like when I do the highlights for these episodes, like I go back and it's like,
Can you repeat that?
yeah, just have a lav mic. But no, it's like so cool because like I go back and do these highlights, right? And I'll watch. Like here's the thing: when I do a highlight, like a 1 minute video might take me 3 hours sometimes, like 2 to 3 hours, and I watch that video no less than 20 times, right? So it's like I start memorizing some of the stuff that the guests say. It's like, all right, cool. Like during the episode, I didn't learn anything from you guys, but like in 2 weeks, I'll be like, oh shit, that makes sense.
Dude, that's anything. As long as you're not afraid to pick things up too. Like I said, don't be so closed-minded is the other thing that I tell people.
Yeah,
Like if
so
you're not
huge.
afraid to like learn things, try it. Like but if you're afraid to try things, you are your own like wall. Like I said, that's the thing is like I was afraid that I wasn't gonna ever be good at welding. I was like, you know what? If I don't try it, I'm never gonna know. And
Well, that's what you're saying. You looked at your ones from 8 years ago and they were shit. If you're not growing, then what the hell are you doing anyway? You know?
it's like anything. Like I said, if you're not trying to do better every year, that's it. Then maybe that's not the type of thing for you. But like in fabrication, every time we worked, we try to make it look better, try to do faster. Like you just try, and before you know it, it's just second nature.
Yep.
And like I said, there's things that jobs will show up, and people are like, this other place wouldn't even attack it, and I'm like, I'm already done. Like that Honda that I'm doing right now, like they brought me not talking down on it, one of the shittiest fitting manifolds I've ever had in my life, but I worked around it. Like I said, I also work around people's budgets. Or if this is all you have, okay, well, let's see what we can do, and then
Right.
and that's the positive about what it's with me and Matt is like that's what we try to do is help whoever has whatever, because at the end of the day, nothing is impossible. You just got to work around it, you know. So
Well, part of it is also finding you in a, like, I don't want to say a good mood, like a good timing too, right? Because like, you know, especially like when it comes to like budget, right? It's like, I want to help you, bro. I just have all this other stuff going on right now. But eventually it kind of works out too.
When you're first getting started, like to get your name out, you know, you want to be more, you know, when it becomes more, I don't want to say legitimized because you are, but like in that beginning, you got to eat some shit, take some good with the bad, right? And then once you get to a certain point, then it just doesn't even become like viable. I mean, there's some people you'll help out and stuff like that. But if
Yeah.
you're giving out too much, then people, and you're popular at the same time, then you got people coming to you for handouts or expecting it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So there's like a
I
fine
got
line
some
in
of those
between
too.
when you
I only give as much as I receive. That's the way.
Right.
I look at it. It's like because I used to give a lot, and then you know figuring out that a lot of people won't do the same thing for you.
So they
Absolutely.
just keep taking.
Yeah, take. Not trying to call people out or anything, but it's just the way it works. That's why I look at it as I think we're giving you pretty good prices where there's a lot of shops that are $170, $190, $200 an hour, where if I'm like, hey, $60, $70 an hour, $100 an hour, like that's still half the price.
You
of-
better not be asking me for a discount.
No, but yeah, and then discount on top, and it's like, okay, I'm like, okay, then you have a job and you do something, then I'm gonna come ask you. You go, oh, you sell houses, cool. Well, am I gonna get a 30% discount? Like, no, like, hey,
Right.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way, like, you know. And then it's just the way I look at things. Like you gotta make it where I can still eat and you're still happy. That's the way I look at it.
Dude, nothing pisses me off more. Well, actually, there's a lot of things that piss me off, but nothing. It does upset me though. Like when somebody's like, "Where's my friends and family discount?" I'm like, "You think the price I just gave you wasn't the discounted price already?" Like that's usually what I'll do. Like for like, you know, if Dan wants a photo shoot, right? I'll be like, or no, I told Caleb last week I'm gonna do a photo shoot half off for him. Because like we hang out all the time, like I'm not gonna do this absolutely for free. It's like otherwise, that's the thing. If I do it for free, it's gonna sit on the backlog forever. It's gonna be there for months. I'm not gonna touch it, you know, just 'cause I gotta focus on whatever.
Well, when you shot Mel and I's car, we were talking, we were setting it up, and I never even asked you, and then you were just like, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna do for you, this, and this,"
Yeah,
and I was
exactly.
like, yeah, "Sounds good."
exactly,
It
like
was-
same thing applies over there. Like it's like I'm gonna give you a discount if we're homies, but don't be asking me for it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
like my buddy Tim. Like if he ever needs anything, he's a towing guy. I was like, you ever need anything done, let me know. Get it done, rocked out. Whenever I need to use a tow truck, something breaks down, he just helps me. Like I don't have to call anybody but him. You know, like
Yeah.
little things like that. It's the things that I appreciate from other people that I think is why I'm happy to have a skill. Because like I said, it's not about one upping on somebody. Like, hey, I did this for you. I need you to help. Like, no.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
keeping
a good
score.
trade. It's
Yeah.
a good trade. Like,
There's
I
a
won't
few
do
people
that
like
shit
that.
either you'll just do it or you'll never hear from me. I won't ever
Yeah.
be like, hey, I need you to do this because I did this. I don't play that game.
I'm
But
that
if I
friend that won't ask.
yeah,
you
I'll
for
just
it,
start
you know?
like you'll slowly see me just like, hey, not talking to you nearly as much.
It's like I
you
tell
know?
you, I was like, if it's my last $10 and we're both hungry, we're eating. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I am. I'm not the kind of person that'll eat in front of you. Like, let's both get this bread, you know.
Yeah, the whole keeping score thing. Like, I'll keep score on myself, right? Like, for example, I do this with Dan all the time. Like, he's like, oh, I'll pick it up or whatever. And then, like, eventually, like, he'll see, like, a random $30 come, like, he's like, what's this for? I'm like, that one time. Like, I'll keep score on myself because, like, you know, but I'll never do it, like, on somebody else.
It's good. I mean, it shows good character because a
Yeah.
lot of people are just like, oh, you're going to buy dinner again? Again?
Yeah.
Before you know it, I'm like, dude, am I your freaking husband? Like, what the fuck? Like, we're going on a date? Like,
Well, you didn't realize that this is, you know, what it is
I just
like-
assume I've adopted him at this point. So
I was
that's all.
expecting a black couch, you know, for anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually casting for The Bachelor. Yeah, we'll make it work. Yeah. But no, that's a huge thing. Yeah, definitely. You want to pop the usual 3 and then we
I
can
think
figure
it's
out-
time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. At the end of every episode, we like to ask our guest or guests to pick 3 cars. We'd like a daily driver, a track car, and a show car. You have unlimited budget. Swaps are okay. Whatever you want to do. We'd like you to pick 3 cars. Can you do that?
I think I can.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're up, man.
All right.
Daily, I think I've always wanted a CTSV wagon manual. It's for a daily driver because, like, even though it's LS9JZ, it's still one of my favorite cars. I'm a dad now too, so it's
Yeah.
like that. So
There's something about 4-door sports cars that I like.
I mean, I have
having
my
kids, yeah.
Chaser, which I love, but
Yeah.
like something about a good 800-900 horsepower daily that can just gap the
Yeah.
fuck out of people. It's pretty sick. Track car, I actually daily a Honda Fit, and it's one of my favorite dailies that I've owned. But I want a K swap one and like track that for like a circuit race because, dude, I'm telling you, I could take off ramps at 50-60 miles an hour and it takes it like nothing.
I've been on tracks with Honda Fits, and no, I'm blowing by them, but they're out there. They're
Dude,
having fun.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's a go kart on wheels
Yeah.
for sure. And then
A go-kart on wheels. You know
Yeah.
what you just said, right?
Yeah, well, let's say it's a go kart, but like a lot bigger and a lot safer, I guess.
yeah.
But
a DOT
yeah,
go-kart.
DOT go kart.
Yeah.
But
I just have to remind them
yeah,
that I
guess,
caught
sorry,
him.
wasn't even thinking. I was actually thinking about the show car when I was thinking about that. But the
Okay,
show
so hold
car-
on. So the track car was the the V. What was the
The
V?
CTSV is a daily.
Okay,
Yep.
daily.
And then K swap, the Civic or not Civic, Fit would be my track car, which is like a circuit car.
Mm-hmm.
I guess show car slash the other thing would be an old Lambo Countach or a Diablo. Oh, that like
Oh, we have
those
to choose
two.
now. I'm gonna make you choose.
I think Diablo. That's one of my. That's
Yeah.
like my first like really wanting of cars, and that's be like Otherwise, my like if I was aiming for it to keep forever, maybe that like Countach is one. Like that's like the first car. I
Look at
ever
this. He's
fell
trying
in
to
love
do 2 again.
It's hard, dude. It's like
It is
they're
hard.
both very good vehicles that like as a kid I grew up like fighting over which one I would really want. Like,
That's
the thing.
crazy. I
Yeah.
don't agree. Diablo all day long.
Yeah.
So,
Diablo?
and the reason I say this because on my Facebook memories today it
Yeah.
popped up, and I asked this question on Facebook last year: Countach or Diablo? And I think it was like a 3-2 ratio,
Yeah.
right? Diablo.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like Dumb and Dumber, right? Because like you're also like almost 10 years older than me, or whatever, right? 33, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so like 9 years older. So it's like Dumb and Dumber, that red Diablo. That's my dream spec. Now I'll never fit in one. Like we saw the one at the Hamilton collection
Yeah.
or at the whatever Iron Gate condos,
Yep.
and I walked up to the car. I literally laughed. I'm like, ain't no fucking way I'm fitting in this car, dude. Like I could squeeze into some things. Like I sat in my buddy's Pantera, right, the white one that's
yep.
around here. I sat in it at Supercar Saturday, and I immediately became a support pillar. Like if that
Cars
car
are
was in a
meant-
rollover, I'm dead.
They're meant for small people. A lot of those cars are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street. I think that's the white Countach that got me.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that one. Yeah.
That's what
Just-
I'm saying. It's like that white has got me, but I was like, but a Diablo has been like this.
Yeah. So now you
it's a
got
back
to
and
choose. Which
forth.
one is it?
Yeah. We'll say Diablo. Diablo's a little more, but there you go.
Would you do anything
on.
custom to it or anything like that?
I'll probably build a turbo kit for it.
Turbo kit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, twin turbo like the sheepy stuff
Yep,
or whatever.
Chevy built. Yep.
I know.
Besides that,
I
no, I'm
know.
not gonna bring in that
I
rabbit
know.
hole.
It's the only, I guess, underground UGR does
Yeah.
twin turbo.
Yeah, GR
kits
does
as
it
well,
too.
I
Yeah,
believe.
pretty sick
Yeah.
shit.
Wait, did Sheepy do a Diablo?
They did a
Well,
while
Lambo
back.
stuff.
Oh,
Lambo
yeah, okay,
RA
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
I was about to say, didn't do one. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
All right, let her rip.
Show car, probably one of those RWB Porsches.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty sweet. Daily C6 Z06.
Okay. You want to do a ZR1?
No,
For
just a
daily?
just a plain
Yeah.
Jane
good one, too.
7-liter NA.
Mm-hmm.
Track car. Probably Fox body. Cliche for drag racing.
Right.
Yeah, probably.
It doesn't get
Fox.
much better than that for drag racing. though.
Honestly,
Yeah.
everybody does it, but they work.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
You can get LS in it.
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
LS.
Now you lost him.
Damn it.
Yep,
He's like,
I
"Oh,
know.
you had me at Ford."
Crying on the
That
inside.
Chevy shit gets in there. He's like,
Yep.
I actually just sold one to a buddy of mine that's gonna put an LS in it, and I'm like, just don't tell me that, man. Just drive away with it, and yeah.
our buddy Derek, when he was a CNC guy at MAP, he has a Fox body as well, and he twin turbo LS swept, but he left it with a stock seat. And when we went out to Proving Ground one time, he did a freaking dirty launch. It snapped the seat.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Ah!" And it broke right away. And then you hear the wheel stop, like, and then you just floor it, hit, and then he's leaning back, flooring it all the way down with a snap seat, trying to pull himself back up because it looked like the seat snapped back. It was so hilarious.
He
After
put
that, we shoved a ball or a cooler back there.
Trailer tire.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
there you
trailer
go.
tire. Yep. And he went back out on the track, did the roll racing and stuff like that, and yeah, he's kind of a wild man. Derek is.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
say-
up there in the wildest stories we've heard. It has to be. It has to be.
I love Derek. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we need more people like that on the podcast too. Just people that just like don't necessarily like. I just have ridiculous stories, dude. They're so fun
Get
sometimes.
Kyle on here, Kyle Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of parties we've had at his place. We do
Yep.
every year. We do a burnout on New Year's. So like right as the ball drops, we do a nice burnout till the tires blow out and piss off every neighbor.
Nice.
And it's just. got
I wouldn't be
got some
pissed.
Stories. Oh no, you wouldn't be pissed.
No.
But the neighbor behind his old house fucking hates him. Called the cops on us all the time. But no,
Oh.
fun stuff.
Well, sweet dude. Where can people find you? We'll start with you.
I don't really post on Instagram or Twitter or anything, so Matthew Cornier on Facebook. I post a bunch of fab stuff there usually. So
Sweet, and mostly DRSE stuff going forward, probably.
Yep.
On Instagram, my tag is Nissan Junkie, NISSANJUNKY. And then my also tag for Elegant Garage is _Elegant Garage. So that's where you'll find any of my stuff if you want to see what I do for work. So
We'll go. Yeah, work.
yeah,
Yeah, man. You're building dreams out here. You have to start selling it
Yeah.
that way.
If you have one, I'll make it.
All right. Where can people find you, Dan?
You can find us at Gun It Garage with 2 N's.
Nailed it. All right, cool. And you guys are, 2 hours, 13 minutes deep in here. You know where to find me at this point. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. This is awesome. We finally ticked the box of fab guys.
Yep.
Slowly working our way through the whole car community. So, yeah. So
appreciate the
we
invite.
appreciate
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, it was awesome to bump into you. So we'll see what comes up next. What do I usually do for these outros? It's been like a
Oh,
week.
that's it. Kind of taper off.
I think, yeah, let taper off. Cool. Well, Dan, thanks for existing. Thanks for coming on, guys. And we'll see you all next time.
Yeah,